Hello, everybody.
Hey. June 20th, 2021, Echo Park Lake.
The longest day of the year.
Is it?
21st, usually.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Griffith Park yesterday. I had a early morning hike with some friends there, and I figured I would just finish the hike and have my SE stuff ready to go, but that didn't happen. I went back home, took a shower, and then brought my SE stuff back to Griffith Park, which is probably not the best decision because I only got 3 people, and they were very strange. One person was Dax Flame. Have you heard of him on YouTube?
No.
He has like nearly 500,000 subscribers. He's been on YouTube for like 15 years since the beginning, pretty much.
Okay.
And his claim was that he's going to either get to 1 million subscribers by the end of the year or delete his channel. Yeah.
It's an odd motivation.
Yeah, and he didn't want to think too much about the calculations of how many subscribers he needs per video. He just didn't want to think about it too much. He wanted to use it as kind of just motivation. I don't think he'll make it, and I don't think he'll delete his channel.
Well, I hope the second one's true.
Yeah, I hope so.
Seems silly to delete a big channel.
He was kind of a meme in like 2006 or something.
Okay. Yeah, I'm unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Dax Flame. Okay. Cool. I've been distracted for the last week or so with this notion of people having 2 competing epistemologies. One where they're doing epistemic epistemology, that might be easily tagged on if you get somebody to propose a bet with odds. Because when they're using bets with odds, they're thinking in probabilistic terms, and they're thinking in an epistemology that has a push in either direction. And then the other one is something like a social epistemology, where I want to believe in you because that'll influence your motivation. I want to be a good coach and say, you're gonna win.
Is this from the book, The Scout Mindset? Hello.
Yes, secondhand. I haven't read the book yet.
Okay.
I intend to soon, but I haven't acquired a copy yet. I'm kind of hoping that somebody who's got a copy is going to be done with it at some point, and I'll swipe it from them.
All right. We're doing some interviews today if you're interested. We'll be here for a few hours. All right. If I have it on Audible, the audiobook, can I rent that out or
Loan it?
Loan it out?
I don't know.
I seem to recall that's an option. I'll have to look into that. We could just buy you it. I was also thinking of potentially just having like a little book stand that SEI could pay for books to give out to people.
Oh, wow.
I mean, why not? We're a nonprofit. We have the money.
Yeah, that would be very interesting.
Chicky Wiki says, you guys doing online SE or real life only?
Both.
We're doing both.
Yeah.
Do you need a link to here?
Yeah. I do a lot of online SE. I just finished my weekend of practices, which 3 of them on Saturday and 1 of them on Sunday. So that'd be 4 practices that are either 90 minutes or 2 hours long that are public. I also do private request SE anytime somebody wants to. I think you do that too with your calendar app.
Yeah, Calendly.
Calendly. So if you want to have an SE session with Reed over Zoom,
Yep. Want to do an interview? Okay. Enjoy the water.
Yep.
Private SE.
Yeah, private SE. So are you doing that a couple times a week, I bet?
At least once a week, yeah.
Uh-huh. Good. So, it depends. And then sometimes I have a lot of private conversations with friends that are that use a lot of SE in them, but might not be formally SE because I'm not saying, okay, please make a claim and then allow me to. I don't consider it SE unless I have formally asked for consent to SE.
Uh-huh.
For me, that's a pass-fail. And so I do a lot of SE adjacent talks with friends who are very familiar with my normal mode and just allow that I can ask a bunch of questions and they will assume that I'm trying to be neutral.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
And we're doing interviews today.
Yep. Free water and free speech. But they're not connected. You can have one without the other. It's okay. How does this work? I get out of this seat so you can have it. And you tell me what you think is true about the world. And then I ask you questions like, or he does, what are your reasons for coming to this? What sort of data do you use to inform that conclusion? And then we try really hard not to argue from an alternate perspective.
And you post it on YouTube or what?
It's live.
Oh,
We are live streaming now on YouTube. If you come to this side of the camera, there's a camera right there. This one's going up.
So what do? You guys like interview people?
Yes. If you would like to be interviewed, grab the seat and
Any for this?
I'll pay you $1.
Yeah, we got $1.
I'll pay anybody $1 for this.
$1.
Yep. Here.
Whatever you think that's worth.
I'll put the $1 up.
You can set a timer if you want. Pay by the minute.
Well, we're going to get so much, but I love what you guys are doing. And maybe
Okay.
an
So
interesting
there's
idea.
the first $1.
There you go. That's
Thank you.
Bet.
yeah. You guys have been getting some customers on this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had some days where it's really dead and we only get 2 or 3 people.
Right.
And then here, I think our average is closer to 6
6.
in 4 hours,
4 hours. Wow.
which is pretty good considering the conversations typically take 20 to 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So that's not a lot of waiting time.
So it's just whatever people want to.
Anything you want to bring in.
Yep. We have some topics on the board over there,
Yep, suggestion topics.
or whatever you want to talk about.
I think I'm still into wide shot. Better.
No, you're not.
GoPro.
Oh, that? Yeah, everything is.
I can hide behind the table.
Oh, he's gone. Hello, Evitable.
Hey, Evitable.
Hey, hey.
Hey, normalizing atheism, also known as Pasta Mike.
Hey.
Pasta Mike is associated with Oz the Magnificent from Tart or Tang.
Who is?
Pasta Mike, which is normalizing atheism,
That's Oz.
is associated with.
Associated with Oz.
Yeah, he's. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Good day, Gina.
Okay.
How are we, guys? I'm exceptionally grouchy. I wonder if anybody will be able to notice that.
Do you want to take your vape pen around somewhere?
Oh, I will.
Okay.
I will.
All right.
I will vape, and that will help. I have vaped. It isn't. It's actually situationally induced. You know, somebody done me wrong. That kind of thing.
Another guy came yesterday from the SE meetup.
Mm-hmm.
He drove up from Long Beach. He had a big Great Dane and then a Great Dane puppy. And he wanted to talk about his material collapse theory, which he explains is like everything is shrinking all the time. Everything.
Okay.
Have you heard of that before?
Yeah, I think it's the alternative to quintessence or the dark energy or the expansion of the universe. Could also be that the universe is constant, but everything is slowly losing energy and getting closer together, and that would produce the same result as long as the speed of light also shifts at the same time.
Oh.
There's a whole bunch of constants which have to shift in very careful lockstep to make sure that that is true. And my favorite physics professor, Sabine Hassenfelder, says, yes, the math works if you think of it as shrinking, but it doesn't predict anything in this world. So, it doesn't make predictions better than the current cosmology, and so she doesn't prefer it, but it works.
Okay.
Occam's razor says it is a less simple answer.
Less simple.
Less simple, which is not, which this is only an epistemic virtue, not an epistemic requirement. You don't have to be the simplest
It's not
thing.
metaphysical truth that
Right.
everything has to be simple to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. The hell?
I'm gonna get out there and busk a little. A whole lot of people are going by. The
All right.
traffic level is great, and me sitting right here, not perfect for that.
Whatever. Take your dollar.
Remove the clutter. But if we do pay $1, I want to pay the person. Just because
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know why I care about such things. I appreciate your desire to declutter the table, and my main solution is to customize the table,
Okay.
which would essentially replace the tabletop with something that has internal places for batteries. So instead of plugging this into a battery, you would just plug it straight down into a slot that's on the table and have some number of them, and have a pocket for that so it's not visible, and a place where this just plugs in, and these don't have a base, they just have a plug. And
That would be great.
now if you want to get really crazy with it, if you want to really crank it up, make the table about this deep, and when you open it, these pop up like a pop-up hook.
What pops up? The mics.
Anything that pops up like a pop-up hook, and so you go plump, and it all plumps down into something about that thick, which this kind of thickness on a table I think is perfectly okay with leg room and top room and that kind of thing. So
Sure.
that would be a box I would have to build and then put it on a table frame.
And that would be a good like side video series, like
Oh, how to?
following how we engineered that thing.
Sure.
That'd be hilarious.
And then when you're done, the tabletop fits roughly, and it's a little bit longer, but it almost fits. It replaces one of your cartons back there, because all of the rechargeable stuff would fit within it.
Okay.
Yeah. And it would be like one of those gaming tables where you've got openings and slots and
Okay.
yeah. Do you like plain wood on the top, or do you prefer a cloth, or you don't have to make those decisions now?
I don't know. Those new shoes?
Yes. My prior ones were like a half a size too narrow at the front.
Okay.
So they have been pushed to, I can use them, but I don't want, my feet start to hurt by the end of the day. So,
Okay.
and unfortunately I'm in that size where I can't go up half sizes. Almost everybody goes from 12 to 13, not 12 and a half. So.
All right.
And Kimberly's about got me talking to ordering a second pair of these just so that I have backups that I like so much.
That's an interesting angle there.
Free water. Free water. Good day. Free water. She's got her plugs in. She's not hearing me at all.
Got blue on my finger from somewhere.
What on your finger?
Some blue from somewhere? Maybe from my... I don't know what that's from.
That's interesting.
Dog poop?
Would you like an alcohol wipe?
I'm alright.
Okay. That's like things on purpose. Water.
Thank you.
Oh, increase speed.
Thank you.
Free water. Thank you. My wife Naya is very, very annoyed at the fence.
Oh, this fence.
Yeah, the fence around this park. And that they closed the park from, I think, 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. City council flexing on the homeless.
Hi, how's it going?
Hello. Good day. Free water.
And we're open for interviews if you're interested.
We're doing free speech. This is live stream.
We're going to turn it up.
Okay. Free water and free speech.
Oh, beautiful.
I don't think you've met Naya.
I don't think so either.
What's that?
Can I borrow a tablet?
Yes.
It may have a drone app. I could use. We'll see.
You on with or without a keyboard?
Without. Whatever can fit in this thing.
You want a battery for it?
I can plug it into this thing. I need a USB A to whatever it is.
Okay. And if it's less than several hours, it won't matter. The thing's fully charged. Hello. Free water and free speech.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it can be any topic you like. Those are just suggestions. I think that was about the right way.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
they're live streaming right now.
Want to do an interview? You take it, Dolly. I'm going to play with this.
Okay. You guys do like live stream conversations?
Yes.
You guys come out? Sundays?
The tournament Sundays I have it.
Yeah. You guys just talk about like everything.
Pretty much anything that you like.
Just like an open forum. You want your question or how does it work?
Hi there. I'm Dolly.
Sure.
Don. Have a seat. Okay, let's see. How do I type in here? I'm not saying how to type in here. That's not what I meant to do.
Do you know what you're doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. I'd like to type his name in.
Oh, just type his name there.
Okay. Hello, Don.
Hi.
What can you tell me that you think is true in the world today?
True in the world?
Yes.
As far as
Something that you think is a real thing. This could be
a broad question.
this could be facts about the world. This could be something where you think morally we should make a choice in the world.
Uh-huh.
This is right, that is wrong. That's okay. Old people have gray hair.
Yeah.
In anything that's important to you.
Anything that's important to me. A lot of stuff that's important to me. Jeez. Are we talking like politics or just
That could be that.
anything?
It could be politics. It could be personal. It could be religion. It could be education. It could be the effects of choir singing I did this morning.
Oh, okay. Maybe like talk about like tolerance,
Tolerance.
open-mindedness.
Okay.
It's kind of like something I really like, enjoy, I guess.
Okay. So tolerance and open-mindedness are good or bad? Are those good things or bad
Good.
things? Tolerance is a good thing.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
I guess it depends on the context. I mean,
Are there
because there's
contexts in
tolerance
which
for like a lot of
tolerance is
things,
bad?
but I mean tolerance in the way of being tolerant of other cultures, other
Okay.
races, other people. You know, whether it's an ethnic group, a political group, a religious group. You know, whatever the case may be. I guess the bad thing would be like tolerance to people doing drugs or kind of violence, which is, I mean, not a good thing, obviously.
Okay. So we shouldn't tolerate
Um,
violence.
No.
No, shouldn't tolerate violence. Okay.
I guess because morally it's not a good thing.
Okay.
But I guess I'm more interested in tolerance of people and like ethnic groups and religious groups and stuff like that.
Okay. Tolerance of people, ethnic, and religious groups.
Yeah,
Okay.
stuff like that.
So, if I'm tolerating him, what does that mean?
You're
You can
accepting of him
put him
who
in
he
any
is.
religious group you want.
Yeah.
He'll stand for it.
Okay. Being accepting of who he is, just accepting him as he is,
Okay.
knowing whatever about him, you know.
Okay. So if I learn about his position,
Mhm.
that's tolerant. And if I were to argue against his position, is that tolerant?
Arguing, like, kind of going against his position.
Yeah.
See, I feel like it's healthy to have those kind of dialogues and conversations,
Mm-hmm.
and it's okay to disagree with people. A lot of people, when you disagree with them, it's like they'll cancel you and
Yeah.
kind of, no.
Yeah. Some people are intolerant of
And-
disagreement.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not okay. I mean, it's okay to disagree because everybody's different. You know, I'm
Sure.
different, you're different, he's different. Everybody's
If you could agree
very
with you
different.
completely, I bet tolerance is just so easy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You just, what's the word? Yeah, everybody's gonna have their beliefs and their ideas, and that's what makes us all unique and different as human beings. Because if we all had the same ideas and opinions and stuff, the world would be kind of boring.
Okay.
I feel like it's okay to have different ideas, and it's definitely okay to disagree with people. It's just when you're kind of like slandering them and like, oh, they're like, you know, just, I don't want to use the word tolerate. I want to use
Mhm.
another word because I'm trying to explain it.
Sure.
When you're arguing, like, trying to be careful with my words and careful with what I say.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be
I'm not going to
thoughtful.
cancel you if you say
No,
something
I just want to be
disagree
like
with.
thoughtful and
I'm
like intentional.
extremely tolerant.
Intentional of what I say. I want to
Yeah.
just spew stuff out.
Sure. And we're live and people will accept it that we're sloppy
I
and
know.
talking off the cuff.
I know. But I guess in summary, just everybody's going to be different and it's okay to disagree. Just be okay with others' beliefs, you know? I mean,
Okay.
to put
And-
it simple.
And others' beliefs up until they get into violence or drugs, is what I heard.
Well, yeah, I mean, now that marijuana is legal, I mean, it's kind of like, oh, everybody's cool with it. I don't smoke. I'm in the
Mhm.
military, so I can't
Mhm.
really
I understand.
do that.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for the support. See, that's I'm like trying to be careful because I guess with tolerating violence, it's like, what about like, I mean, you could say to me, like, I'm a soldier.
Sure.
It's like, how the heck are you in the military, but you're not tolerating violence? It's like, I haven't gone to war or been in combat, but we could,
I hope you
we
manage
could
to
talk
avoid
for
that. That would be
hours
better.
about this topic in conversation.
Yeah. So when is violence justified? When is violence tolerable?
I don't think it is. It can be tolerated, but I mean, when there's oppressive regimes and people who are just, you know, being oppressive of people and persecuting them and, you know,
Okay.
doing all that kind of stuff.
So with sufficient
I don't want to say
oppression-
violence is the solution, but we need brave men to stand up against those people who are persecuting
Mhm.
and not tolerating, you know,
Yeah.
people, whatever it may be, whether it's their religion or whatever, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's pretty complicated.
I hear that one limit of tolerance is if there's sufficient oppression, we should no longer tolerate that. And
Well, I
we
wouldn't
should-
say tolerance, or excuse me, violence is like the first solution. I mean, of course, with
Sure.
like nations, it's going to be like diplomatic kind of stuff, you know, where it's
Sure.
ambassadors, negotiations, presidents, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But I mean, if someone's like gassing their people, you know,
Mhm.
it's like you can't just stand there. I mean, you're going to have to go in and
Okay.
sometimes violently, unfortunately,
So
take down these oppressive people.
in this case, oppression should be all the way to murdering innocent people.
Like are you saying like the definition or?
Yeah, in this case, you were saying oppression might be a reason to tolerate violence, or to be intolerant of the oppression. And you gave the example of gassing people.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming that means murdering innocent people
Yeah.
with poisonous gas. And that would be an example where we should no longer tolerate it and we should use violence, or maybe.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm not a politician, I'm a young guy. I mean, I would say probably the more reasonable route would be diplomatic, but I mean, if they're straight up gassing people, there's no time for diplomatic kind of stuff. You kind of just gotta
Okay.
go in there. And yeah, violence, there might be some violence. There probably will be violence.
Okay. So, how confident are you that up before an action like a government killing innocents in their own country, that would be an example where you'd say we might need to use violence? Are there things that are less than that would also maybe use violence?
Are you talking about like lesser
evils,
Lesser evils
oppressions, oppression where nobody dies, but maybe people are enslaved, or oppression where there's a clear second-class citizenry, a whole bunch of people who don't have the same rights as a whole bunch of other people?
Right.
I've heard that as oppression. Is that the kind of oppression that could lead to violence, justifiably?
Like, do I think violence is necessary, or
I'm just trying to I'm just trying to pick where your line is. So I'm okay. So we define that line, and now
Yeah.
I'm backing off, and then I'm going to go the other way too.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's you kind of got to take it by situation, you know.
Mhm.
You kind of can't just say like, oh, violence for everything, you know. It's like, because it's not the right thing, but you kind of got to just go. I feel like personally, situation by situation.
Okay. So I want you to
I don't know if
imagine a
there's a fine
situation that yesterday you were pretty sure did not deserve a violent response. I don't know what that situation is. And then tomorrow you learn something, and it changes your mind to thinking, nope, that one we should do violence about. What kind of thing would you have learned in that day? The helicopter is a perfect cue.
Oh, I know. Police, probably,
I don't know.
or something.
It's just I would have cued the sound people. That question. What could you learn a helicopter flies are?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry, could you say your question again?
so imagine that there was a situation in the world where you were pretty sure, no, we shouldn't react to that with violence. It's
Yeah.
still on this side of the line. We should tolerate that one.
Okay.
And then you learn something tomorrow, and it changes your mind to, no, we should not tolerate that one anymore. So it's an edge case. What was the kind of thing that ticked you over into, no, that one violence is justified?
Do you have an example? It's kind of hard to.
Okay, so there's a country in the world that's doing really bad oppression, and I don't have a clear example that
Okay.
would be on this side of the line for you, because you didn't tell me. But it's less than like Syria gassing people.
Okay.
It's less bad. It's bad. You're annoyed about it,
Yeah.
but it's less bad than that. And then you learn something about it that changes your mind and pushes it across the line to definitely bad enough.
Violent. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you think of something where you had this side of the line pushed to that side of the line, and what would be the thing that would push you? This question is just me trying to understand what kind of data moves you in this regard.
What moves you to
What
push?
kind of information pushes you on one side of the line or the other?
I guess what would change my mind about moving towards violence, if I saw that there wasn't a need for violence, Is that kind of...
Yesterday you thought there was no need for violence, and then you learned something tomorrow,
I changed my mind.
and the day after that you changed your mind. I'm trying to figure out what that thing is that you would have learned that would change your mind.
I don't know, just learning, uncovering more information that I didn't know, and I don't know, maybe there was human trafficking or child sex trafficking or something of that matter.
So that would be something you didn't know about, that you learned that they were doing that.
Yeah.
And so now it's like a new situation now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I just thought that before they were just, you know, kind of just slave labor and kind of just working them to death. And the next day I found out they were trafficking children, sex trafficking and that kind of stuff.
So working adults to death in a slave labor situation would be less bad than children sex trafficking.
Well, I mean, it kind of just depends. Like, if it's the United States getting involved in this, or is it like people within the country? I mean, it's like.
Does the moral justification matter? Who's the one swinging the violence?
No. It's just a really complicated matter.
It is. And hopefully you can't tell where I stand at all. I hopefully have not. Good. Because my intention is to come from such a neutral place where you don't know where I am until you ask me later. Yeah. And you're welcome to.
Okay. I mean, because if we were to go with like the United States getting involved, I don't know, somewhere we'll say Africa or whatever, Latin America, human sex trafficking or whatever. God, there'd be so much news articles kind of painting the United States as a demon and like getting it, something like painting the United States as a demon and just kind of villainizing them, when in reality the United States is trying to release these children who are being trafficked into sex trafficking. And there could be just all this stuff like, oh, the United States is there to take resources, and maybe they are, like, I don't know, but I mean,
so if the motivation was to take resources, that would be a less valid motivation than...
Well, no, I'm saying like people would like say that about the United States.
Sure.
You know? It's like, oh, they don't care about the children, they're just there to just like, it's a power grab, you know, they're just gonna go grab, they're gonna get in there, you know, and kind of just throw out their leadership and put a puppet leadership that the United States wants. And yeah, they freed the slaves, but you know, it's just like all this different kind of stuff. And
so this next one might be a little tricky, and if this is too uncomfortable, don't. You feel free. I don't want to push you into an uncomfortable state. Can you think of an example in the past where violence was used, where you learned something about it after the fact that made you think after the fact that violence was inappropriate?
See, I had one thing just pop into my head right now. That I kind of want. I guess I'll talk about it. You could talk about. I don't know a whole lot about the situation, but from what I've learned, it's the Iran kind of thing, you know. Because I did like a paper on that for school, or it was like a speech or something, and Iran is kind of painted as the enemy to the United States, and I guess to simply put it and not get super into all of it, because it's a complex matter that's like gone over like I think over a century probably. And excuse me if I'm like
It's okay if you oversimplify it. And in this case, I'm not looking at what the actual facts are. I'm looking at what's the kind of thing that would change your mind, much more than this is a perfect example of it. So it's okay if you even make a fictionalized example.
Okay, well, I guess the United States getting involved in Iran with violence, because I guess they took out a Shah,
Okay.
back in the early
Yes.
20th century.
Yes. The Shah of Iran. Yes.
Because he was oppressing his people. And supposedly they didn't like him. I don't know if it was the United States, but it was probably like Britain and the U.S. either or. And I mean,
Okay.
we're allies with Britain,
Yes.
Great Britain,
Very much.
and they threw him out. And basically, it was just to take resources because he didn't want the United
So
States.
when they
to
took
take
the Shah
resources.
out and put in Ayatollah.
It took him in violence.
Okay.
Took him out in violence, and I think it should not have. They shouldn't have even gone into that
Okay.
at all. Some people will probably be like, "Yeah, that was the best thing for us that they took him out." But I learned that it was mostly for resources
Okay.
to take
So-
oil.
In this case, you found out after the fact that the motivations were not good enough to justify
It was
violence.
supposed that he was oppressive to his people, but
The Shah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe he was. I don't know.
Okay.
But then in the end of the day, the United States was going after oil, and so was Great Britain.
Okay. Yeah. I remember that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I had a girlfriend for several years who was the daughter of the city planner for Tehran under that Shah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was a German city planner who had a lot to do with rebuilding Berlin after the World War II, and then he ended up doing his last gig before retirement was city planning in Tehran
Wow.
for the Shah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's kind of
Interesting.
interesting. So I got to learn second or third hand, whatever that is.
Yeah.
You know, she was living there as a child
Yeah.
when that was the case.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Kind of see their side, their point of view,
Mm-hmm.
versus what is just put out in the news, and
Yeah.
because our point of views as Americans are different than
Very much.
the
And
people in the Middle East.
And she was a German foreigner and didn't really get to see it like the locals saw it
Yeah.
either. And she was very aware of that she didn't have the viewpoint of the common person there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So. Yeah.
Thank you for this conversation. I've
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Do you have any questions for me? I've been hiding behind neutrality and not saying anything. And if you want to know, I don't want to be just a mystery.
Yeah. I mean, what is your point of view on, I guess, what I said, or where do you stand?
Regards violence,
And
I'm rather an extreme pacifist, anti-war guy.
Okay.
And I think that 90-something% of wars are unjustified.
Hmm.
And I think America has been doing a very immoral thing for the last 2 or 3 decades in the Middle East.
Hmm.
I think since 9/11, we've been doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ashamed of my country.
Hmm.
I'm not ashamed of the soldiers. I'm ashamed of
Politicians.
the
and
politicians and you know, maybe the generals. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure how much.
they're-
I'm not sure how
they're
much the
leading.
generals have a freedom of choice in this. And I only want to hold somebody responsible to the degree that they have freedom to do something about it.
Yeah.
If it's your career and you've made an oath, do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very. I do agree with you about that. What you're saying about how a lot of our wars are unjustified and
Mm-hmm.
they're not necessary. Because, I mean, yeah, a lot of people are killed, and
Mm-hmm.
you look at their motives and their intentions, and they're not always as truthful as they seem to be.
Mm.
So,
Yeah. In war, it seems like the first casualty is truth.
yeah.
Yeah. That's really sad because that's when it matters the most, I think.
Yeah.
During peacetime, lies and happy noise, fine.
Yeah.
now you're cocked and bloated, and
Yeah. Definitely. A lot of innocent people die.
a lot of innocent people.
More
die.
than, I guess, the enemy. Way more than the enemies.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. But
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. What was your name?
Dolly. D-A-L-I.
Dolly. Good conversation.
Yes, and you can get a hold of. Good, you got one. That's for Reed, and you can get a hold of me through him also.
Perfect. And yeah, maybe I'll see you next Sunday or another
Thank you.
Sunday.
Yeah, we'll try to be here on the regular Sundays. And oh yes, you can have one of these.
What was that?
It's an obvious bribe to get you to come back for the set. Some people like to complete sets.
Okay. Cool. Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, fellas. Take care.
How's that going? Of course. I assumed that was the case when you said there was an app.
Yeah, there's 250 megabytes.
Good.
So on the way.
And this is my daily data account,
Okay.
and I have the StreamYard running on my reserve data account.
Okay. Yeah, went pretty well. Tolerance, war, the line for violence. Serious stuff.
Maybe like 2000 or something. It had none of
If you'd like to join the show to chat in between interlocutors, feel free to click the link there. Maybe give Dolly some feedback.
No, with the falls of water, that was a not having the sandbags. Yeah, that was.
Could you hear that okay? Oh, that's fine. There we go.
I'd have come back.
52%. It's kind of windy for a drone right now. Happy Father's Day. Oh gosh.
let's see if they take me out of the room. No, I'm still here. Hey, pullback. Yes, first time catching us live. Yeah, you get to see the waiting between ILs. There's lots of that.
We actually are on the way out. I was just wondering what is this all about?
It's talking about what we think and what makes you believe things. You know, so it's your ideas, it's not our ideas. It's what fits. Reed, how often are you here?
Once a week.
Is for like a project of some sort? Or?
Yeah, we're live streaming right now.
Oh.
We are. I am speaking to the people. There are 14 people here.
They can only see and hear us, though.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
Unless you step on this side of that camera.
Yeah, bad. Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would definitely. So you come here once a week?
Yeah, Sundays. Same time, 12 to 4 usually.
That's a great claim. The squirrel's mocking you. That's good.
Yeah, my wife did too. It's true. It's very true.
Yeah. Yeah. So free water and free speech, and they're not. You don't have to have both. They're not a package deal. You can have either one. They're non-exclusive. And we're doing interviews on any topic you choose. Those are just suggestions.
I think I got one for aliens of visited Earth.
Want to do that?
I work at the university's podcast, so this is my area.
Cool.
Amazing. Hello, welcome.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Good, thank you. And you?
I'm good.
So, context. I was born and raised in Latin America, in Guatemala. So, I think that's one of the regions where I feel a lot of people say that there's a lot of alien activity and whatnot because of like the pyramids and who built them and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely aliens have visited Earth. I have a home in a pretty rural area near a volcano.
One second. Can I get your first name?
Yeah, it's Cynthia.
Cynthia. Gotcha. My name is Reed. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. And is it okay if I record and stream and stuff? Is that all right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Thanks.
Totally.
Do you want me to explain more of what I'm doing here?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to practice this way of having conversations called street epistemology. It's a Socratic style where I mainly keep my opinions out of it and ask you questions to help get clarity on what you believe and why and how we can know whether what we're believing in is true or not.
Cool.
And you picked have aliens visited Earth, and you said you're like pretty much very confident about it. I have a little confidence scale there. And any time constraints for this right now?
Nah.
Okay. Is this your family?
Yeah, my mom and my dad.
Or do you come to the park often? Do you come to the park often?
No, I actually live maybe about 30 minutes out of here, but I've come to the park maybe once or twice. My friend lives about 5 minutes from here. She used to vend here, so
Okay,
I
cool.
used to accompany her.
Nice. And want to wear headphones? It's a little easier to hear.
Oh yeah, duh. So we can know how far away from the mic.
Yes, that helps. And check, great. So, yeah, have aliens visited Earth? If all the way to the right, black, is absolutely yes, they have. In the middle is not sure, and absolutely no, they have not, or anywhere in between. Where's your current confidence about that claim? About there, okay. And you said something about Guatemala.
Yep.
And there's pyramids there, and people have claimed that the pyramids were built by aliens. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so that's one of the kind of more like common things that they say about Latin America, and more kind of like common folklore that I've heard around my region is that especially the volcanoes that are near my home, which is in a place called Antigua Guatemala, they say that there's a lot of alien activity that goes on around those volcanoes, as they will see some strange lights exiting the volcano. And no, we're not talking about lava or volcano eruptions, but they will see other unnatural sources of light leaving the areas of where the volcanoes are at.
Strange, unnatural sources of light exiting the volcano?
Yeah.
So potentially aliens are coming out of volcanoes?
Potentially, that's either their landing site to where...
Or going into the volcano? What do you mean?
So the way that I can explain it is that the kind of common myth that we have is that the volcanoes are a place where the aliens kind of touch down, and that's where they camp out and they overlook everything that goes on. Since it is kind of like that whole mythos that it's the ancient world, this is probably where the aliens initially came to check out the Earth when they came here hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So these are their sites where obviously maybe this is where the ancient Mayans got their ideas where gods came from. They would see these beings or these things coming out of the volcanoes, these lights, and they would think that this is the places where they would touch down on.
Okay, you mentioned the word myth there. Does this mean this isn't actually true, or is just people are misattributing aliens for gods? Like, are the aliens actually real, or is that a myth as well? What are you saying?
I think it might be split within the community, where there are people who really do believe that the beings or the lights coming out of those volcanoes are extraterrestrial, or there are some that have truly believed that those might be the ancient gods coming down and coming out of there.
Yeah. Did they originally come from like inside the Earth, so they're not extraterrestrial? They're like subterrestrial? Is that what you're saying?
No, so they come from space, camp out in the volcanoes, and then they exit out of the volcanoes.
And then it's like a hiding spot?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
And do you believe this to be true?
Yeah, I think it was about last year. I was stargazing out in my house, and I look up and I see these like strange lines, just a line of lights coming out of like the volcano region, and I start freaking out.
Where was this?
It's the volcanoes, if I recall right. It's Volcán de Fuego and the Catenango.
In Latin America?
Yes.
Okay. Some volcano in Latin America, you saw lines of light, and you're attributing these lines to aliens?
Yep.
What other potential hypotheses are there for lines coming out of volcanoes?
If I can think of anything else, it might either be a secret government experiment where they're testing out things and maybe...
Nothing natural?
Maybe. I highly doubt they would be natural because they were in such a linear formation. There's no way that those lights could have been natural. They were too uniform, too spaced out. There's no way.
No way it's natural. It has to be some kind of alien or government experiment?
Yep.
All right. And that's your main reason, your personal experience seeing that, or just hearing myths and stories?
I think it's definitely a mix of both, because at first I definitely did not believe it. Like within my grandfather, he lives closer like to the volcano, and he's been living there pretty much the majority of his life, and he's claimed that he's seen aliens. And at first I'm like, that's ridiculous. There's no way. I don't believe you. I'm a very science-based person. I study psychology, I study the sciences, so I'm like, there's no way there's aliens. But then that one night, and I just start seeing these uniform lines coming out between these two volcanoes, I'm starting to doubt myself a little bit there, and I'm thinking, you know what, maybe there was some truth to what he was saying.
Okay. Hypothetically, I'm not saying I have anything to explain these things, but if we found an alternative explanation for how those lines could be that have nothing to do with aliens, where would your confidence be after learning that? Or would it change at all? It would be about there. So there's still a lot giving you confidence besides the lines. What else is there giving you that confidence?
I think just the kind of fact that just so many claims around Latin America and aliens touching down there. I think there's way too much proof that just does not lower my confidence any lower.
And this proof is just stories from people, the myths? Is that what you're saying?
No, like people will take recordings, and this is stuff that you usually don't see on the US side of YouTube. Like you'll see it in Latin American YouTube or Latin American forums, and people will publicize this stuff there.
Oh, this is video evidence?
Yep.
On YouTube in Latin America?
Or even on the news, sometimes they'll pass these kinds of things over there in the news over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that raises my confidence a little bit more, where you just see these strange things that really don't seem like they're natural phenomenons, and they don't seem like they're man-made either. So
They don't seem that way.
no.
Okay. Again, if we found alternative explanations that are completely not alien at all for those things, or all that video evidence, where would your confidence be then?
Well, I think that considering that we still have that video evidence, and I think that especially in those areas, that there really is no reason why the people would want to fake these things. If anything, I feel like the Latin American culture, especially down there, it's more seeing, believing, and not really trying to fabricate something to prove something. You're going to go out there and search for the truth, and you're going to show it to the world.
Yeah, we don't have to say what makes it not reliable evidence or what not sufficient evidence. Just in some way it is no longer that a good reason to believe. Hypothetically, would your confidence change at all then, if you found that out?
And the lights, maybe, but it just in overall extraterrestrial things, I don't think so. There's so many things that go on all over the world that just don't really seem to have a good basis to be able to prove them with science or even prove them with religion in some ways. I think that I still wouldn't go down.
You wouldn't? This is your...
I'm staying
you're
there.
Staying there. Okay. Why are you not going all the way over to the right? What's keeping you from going all that way?
I think that what really keeps me from that is just the fact that I have not seen like an actual being in front of me, where I've seen them from a distance. Everybody just sees them from a distance. They keep their distance. I think if I were to actually see one in front of me, actually converse with them, actually talk to them, actually see what they have to say, then that would be completely off the chart, all the way up to the bottom, way to the right.
You need more quality experience, like really close and seeing it that way. All
definitely.
Right. Any other ways to test this claim? Is it like is video evidence the best way? Yeah, if they like landed and started talking to us, that would be one way. What are some ways to test this claim?
If anything that I can probably come up on the spot now would definitely be having, it sounds very strange, but just having like electronic monitors to really see and like scan them, like just looking at their body temperatures, looking at their heartbeats, I know that like those kind of x-ray scanners, if that makes any sense. That sounds wild, but I feel like that would be the only way you could really test, like to see, okay, these things are not from here, because you can tell from the temperatures, the way that maybe the central heating is from in the body, or whatever object it is, the way that just like that kind of stuff. If that makes any sense.
We had some type of scientific instruments to like scan them from a distance or like close up, or
either or. I mean, that way you can maybe like, I know there's some like high-tech kind of laser things that will tell you the object, or like tell you the metal or the composition of the object from very far away. This is like astronomy sort of thing, but if you could use that on pointing it at whatever object might be in front, let's say like there's an alien about 100 meters away, point it at that, and it tells you this is not giving you a signature of a metal or like a material that's from Earth. I think that would definitely help push that scale a little bit more to the right.
Okay, cool. All right. And so let me try to recap what I'm hearing you say. It's like a lot of some personal experience, a lot of anecdotes and personal testimony from your family and just general people in Latin America. And there's some video evidence as well from YouTube, and some things that would change your confidence is just seeing it in person, more personal experience, and the ways to test it is with like some scientific instruments and stuff.
Pretty much. I think that would be the only way that, if there's any disbelievers, not just saying like, oh, it's an edited video, or oh, it's a Photoshop picture. There's no way. If they have the actual scientific readings, and you can compare that to actual readings of natural objects and natural things that we have here, I think that would definitely disprove a lot of the non-believers.
Gotcha. Cool. All right, well, thanks, Cynthia. Any questions for me? Any feedback?
No, I think this is pretty cool that y'all are doing this out here. It's pretty interesting. It gets people engaged. It gets you thinking, and it's awesome. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it. We'll be here Sunday, so hope to see you again.
Cool.
Feel free to take a puzzle piece if you'd like. There's a little squishy stress ball thing.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, feel free.
Shall steal one of these.
Yep. All right.
Cool.
Have a great day.
You too.
See you. Cool.
So, you go back and watch it?
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I've never seen one out there.
Yeah, we've been trying different days of the week, and it turns out weekends, especially now that the fence there's a lot less foot traffic. So we're switching to
Meh.
probably Sundays here, probably Saturdays in different places. We'll see.
You downloaded yet? Yes.
If you get a hold of us, we can set you up on the meetup so you can tell where we are in case we end up trying different spots. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm not sure how to switch the cameras.
layout. There we go.
Layout. I see. Under more. Got it. Yes. So you can look up our noses. Try to move it over here so it's a little less up the nose. Epistemology. Street epistemology. Sure. It is a dog walking cart, so that sort of thing does happen. Shit. So does that controller have a really big battery?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's okay to run the tablet off of it for however long. Good.
I assume so.
We'll find out.
Phantom 4 Pro, is that what I have? I think I just have the Phantom 4. Right? Let me check.
Uh-huh.
I think Luke once joined.
Okay. Hello, Luke. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great.
You're doing great. Oh, you know what? I saw you juggle for the first time
Yes?
today.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I haven't seen you juggle before, so I went for to the how do you call that? The Twitch stream, and I
Okay.
saw you juggle there. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. His name is Juggling this, and he knows how to do that. I forgot about it.
I actually do teach juggling. I can actually juggle, as it turns out. Now, a lot of jugglers would look down at me and say, "You can't juggle 5 balls. You're not really a juggler." And then I could.
Oh, did you watch that? I found a video not so long ago where the juggler had the crazy idea to film himself from above.
Okay.
Yeah, and it makes a new perspective for juggling because, well, the balls seems to float. You know, you don't see them go up and down to the camera.
Free water and free speech. You can have either or both. Free water or free speech. And, actually.
Is this like a podcast?
Yes, we're live streaming now. If you have any opinions you're willing to have examined, we'd love to talk to you. We just spoke to somebody about that just moments ago.
Universal therapy. I would say it's the most important public policy that has yet passed.
Well,
Yeah, chat with him about
here.
that.
Have yourself a seat.
What are we doing here? Oh, it's on TV.
We are on live stream. Yes.
Is this on YouTube?
Yes, it's on YouTube and Twitch.
How many people are watching this?
By that marker, 18.
Okay, good. So not too many. They're seeing me.
Not excessive numbers.
Do I put this on?
Yes.
Oh.
Then you can hear us really well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Tap, tap, tap.
Oh, is that the same thing? Do I just write down there? What
No,
do
you
do
just
next?
tell me.
Oh, no, just I would say that question you asked, I think the one that hasn't been passed that should is universal therapy.
Universal therapy.
Yeah.
Okay. So what, first of all, what's your name?
Lisa?
Lisa. I'm Dali, D-A-L-I.
Hey.
So universal therapy is something we should pass that hasn't passed.
Yeah.
So what does universal therapy mean?
It's, well, I'm just calling it that if I had what I would call it. But in the same thing as like universal healthcare,
Okay.
there should be free access to universal therapy. And because a lot of times the healthcare clauses don't ever necessarily have that. So,
Okay. So healthcare doesn't sufficiently include psychological therapy.
And sometimes it does, but it's usually not necessarily the best quality of care in terms of, certain therapists that only certain people have access to because of price.
I see.
That are really good at their jobs and can actually really help people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what would universal therapy look like to you? What would that be?
I mean, I think it just means that anybody who has a mental health issue has access to a professional, certified, quality therapist.
Okay.
That then can treat them. And I think if we combated the mental health issues first, we'd probably have a lot less other types of issues.
Okay, so because mental health issues have knock-on effects and cause other things, we would avoid a lot of other problems if we address these first.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it all kind of starts there.
Okay, so it all, what's the it all that starts there?
Well, I mean, first we're at the lake, right? There's a huge homeless issue here for the whole year.
Yeah.
And so I think that issue, a good majority, I can't throw out a percentage, but a good majority of people who end up homeless, it's caused by mental health issues and also just different types of, where you came from and what you're born into. But a lot of it is mental health issues, and they're not being treated, and they can't get sufficient jobs, and they can't afford housing and such. So that's one way to stop that. I also think like gun violence is a mental health crisis, and school shootings is a mental health crisis. So if young kids, therapy is very expensive, and so if young kids had easier free access and families had access to it, that could potentially help our massive school shooting issue in the country.
Okay.
And then I think a lot of violence in general roots from mental health issues, so domestic violence. So it's all like a trickle-down effect to me, and it all kind of starts with a healthy mind.
Okay. If we all had access to health care, mental health care, that was unfettered by cost, what fraction of people in the world do you think would be dramatically improved? Their lives would be dramatically improved. In this case, that would be like every person could. This would be like nobody could. Half of people could. Where would you find yourself?
If that was accessible, how many people would affect in terms of that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say because it's like a lot of times, even if we have access to things, doesn't mean people are choosing to, do it. So I probably bet people with mental health issues, if they had free care in that way, probably about half would take the opportunity, maybe a little more even.
Okay, so about half of people would use it. Of those half of people, how many people would benefit from it significantly?
I'd probably say, I don't know, I'd like to see the numbers on outcomes of therapy and how it helps and affects people in the long term and who chooses to stay in it or not. I don't know, but my guess would be, I think more than half people who choose to go to therapy see positive outcomes. So maybe 60 to 70% of those people.
Okay.
Probably about 20 to 30% drop out or get nothing from it or can't be treated.
Okay. So that sounds to me like 60 or 70% of half of people. That's a third of people.
Yeah.
A third of people would have their lives dramatically improved by having access in an unfettered way.
I would say that, yeah. I think, a third of the homeless issue would be healed. A third of people who were going to go commit violent crimes may be healed. I think that's a fair and reasonable assessment.
How much would that cost?
No idea.
Okay.
Obviously, like, that would be something where we would be taxed more for that. But I think if the super wealthy took on that burden, then it would be possible. If, like, the 0.001% of wealth took on that tax, it could be very possible for the majority of other people to benefit from it.
Okay. How much does it cost for one person to have an ongoing therapist?
I mean, therapy can cost anything from $100 an hour to $500 an hour. And so a lot of times it's out of pocket, but if your insurance covers it, I mean, you're still paying for your health insurance, and then you're paying co-pays, and then if you need medication, then that's a whole expense.
How many hours a week? How many hours a month per person?
I think it just depends on the person. Some people go weekly, bi-weekly, 2-3 times a week. Totally depends on the person and what they need.
Okay. If I just do the back of the envelope math, then that sounds like $300 is the average price.
I'd say.
And once a week is the average time.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 52 weeks a year times 300, the 15,000 a person per.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Okay. And do you believe that there would be $15,000 worth of improvement in people's lives from that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
What could you learn that would increase your confidence that this was a good idea? Something you don't know now.
Statistics on cause effect and outcomes of the quality of life of someone post therapy would be nice.
Okay.
If we had statistics on that, I'm sure there's been studies on that of like, you know, the effect after, say, a year of therapy, how your life improved or didn't, or maintained, you know. I think if we had like those kind of studies, it would help build a case.
Okay. And then the opposite hypothetical, what could reduce your confidence that it's worth $15,000 a year per person to give them this help?
Seeing that it doesn't have any outcome, or people, you know, remain the same, or even if you do therapy, it still doesn't improve your quality of life or something, you know, that would work against it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Weird side question.
Sure.
Could therapy be done by an AI?
Yes.
Would that be cheaper?
Potentially. I don't know. Well, AIs are so expensive to make, but I think, I don't know, I'd actually sidestep my answer. I'd say, because human connection is kind of a necessity to therapy.
Okay.
You kind of, I think people heal things through relationships, one being with your therapist. So I don't know, if AI can replicate that kind of connection, then yes. If they can't, then no.
If I sucked at being a therapist, but I was decent at human connection, could me and an AI do the job? Let the AI do the therapy, and I'm here to make the connection work, or something like that?
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially?
Yeah.
I bet that's cheaper, because I'm a lot cheaper than $300 an hour.
Are you? Wait, oh yeah. I was like, wait, are you an actual therapist?
No, I'm not.
No, but you're saying, yeah. Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean, there's a potential for that. Yeah. So what is this for? Is this
Well, this is about street epistemology. This is we're trying to ask people questions about what they think is true and hear them out completely without pushing from an alternate perspective. Because oftentimes people don't get the opportunity to bring it out, surface it, put it all on the table, and examine it where we can see it. I think that's critical thinking, to lay your ideas out where you can see them and evaluate your confidence.
Yeah.
And understand what sort of things should move your confidence up, what should move your confidence down. And the problem is that when we surface this with people, almost always I have an idea, I know what your problem is, here, let me sell you my thing.
Yeah.
Or whatever that is. And that totally gets in the way of you evaluating your own thing. So, if anything, I want to encourage people to hear each other out and get your ego out of it.
Yeah.
Stop trying to push your own position. Not that you can't have a position, but how about put it on the shelf for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
And then if you want to, you can reverse the roles. So, in terms of a few hours, it could be like a debate where we've both heard each other out, and maybe we have agreeing, maybe we don't, whatever, and we can both evaluate it with each other's help.
Interesting.
That's what street epistemology is about. Epistemology is the study of how we come to learn things, how we come to know things.
Interesting. And then you guys just do this weekly?
Yeah, I do this 5 times a week in practice sessions online. And I just did one early this morning, the Europe-friendly practice. And then once a week I get out here in the park. Twice a week he gets out here in the park to do that. And there's a whole bunch of us, including at least half the people that are watching are also doing that kind of thing.
Nice.
And at least one of them is a therapist.
Oh, I would love to hear her point of view. What is the YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is Juggling Lessons. His is Cordial Curiosity.
Okay, cool. Oh, it's all on this. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at it.
Thank you.
Nice. Those are my thoughts for the day.
Thank you.
Cool, thanks.
Do you think I've understood you fully?
Sure, yeah. I think you've heard me out and considered it.
Okay.
I don't think we have enough information to make a solid, stance.
Agreed.
I think it's like an interesting thought that, I don't know, you've listened to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Well, have a good day.
You too. Howdy.
Hello.
Are you back?
We're back, yeah. Yeah,
Are you front?
I am.
Great.
Yeah.
Reed?
Yep.
I think you're up.
So this is going to be like online or something?
This is online now. We are live.
But like
in
if I
this
was
moment.
going to want to watch it later, would I be able to see it? Or?
Yes. It'll be persistent.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's on my Juggling Lessons channel on YouTube and his Twitch channel on Cordial Curiosity.
Cool.
And right now we're an hour and 22 in, so you'll know when to start.
Oh, I
How
see.
many people do you have watching?
12. He was 18 when I started filming.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
I bet it doesn't.
How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I said there was 18
Yeah,
when I
just this
when I sat down.
You can wear these headphones if you want. Helps to hear people.
I'm gonna take that first.
Helps to hear ourselves. Check.
For sure.
All right. How was your little walk around the park?
It was great. We got some pizza too.
Pizza.
Well, we brought it here
Oh,
from this Chicago pizza place nearby.
Chicago place. Okay.
Yeah, it's called Masa.
Sweet. Did
Yeah.
you get it like a deep dish or something?
Yeah, the deep dish.
Oh my god.
So good.
Yummy. Can I get your first name? Sorry.
Yeah, Nathan.
Nathan. Yeah, my name is Reed. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Reed.
And yeah, so what we do here is just practice street epistemology. Do you want to know more about it, or you've heard it probably?
Probably you can give me like the 10-second version.
It's a way to practice critical thinking collaboratively together.
Uh-huh.
I keep my opinion out of it and ask questions to help get clarity on what we believe, why, and how we can know whatever we're talking about.
Cool.
And yeah, that's how we do about it. And any time constraints?
Do I have any?
Yeah.
Kind of. I need to get her back for a nap. So what would you say, Amanda? 15 minutes? Max?
Okay. Yeah, feel free to use that chair if you'd like. Dolly, want to give her that chair?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I'll set for 15.
Okay.
Sweet. And did you have a claim you wanted to chat about?
Sure. The claim is that God is love and created people to be like him, to be loving.
God is love and created people to be loving like him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
God is love. Any particular God?
So I would claim that God reveals himself primarily through what is known as the Bible.
The Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. And I've got a little confidence scale here. If all the way to the right is absolutely yes, God is love and created people to be loving like him, or not sure, or actually no, that's not true, or where's your current confidence about that?
All the way.
All the way.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And also on this same scale, how important to you is it to believe in true things in general? All the way, not really, absolutely no.
Depends on what you mean by believe and what you mean by true things, but
maybe like to have your beliefs accurately align with what's true in the world, what's actually the case.
That's, I would say that's like 9.5, 9.99.
9.99.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. And does this claim fit within that thing that you would prefer to actually know the case about it? And,
yes, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and could it be possible to be mistaken about this claim for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And God is the Christian, the Bible God.
Mm-hmm.
What is like the main reason that gets you to that level of confidence for this?
So I would say two main things. My own personal experience and also the historical record of the Bible and what kind of impact the Bible and the life of Jesus has had on history.
Your own personal experience, the historical record through the Bible, and the impact that
Jesus' life had on
Jesus'
history.
life has had on history.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And is this all equally getting you to that level of confidence in parts, or is one part more of what's causing the confidence level?
I would say probably more along the history side.
The history side.
Because I know my own personal experience can vary based on day to day sometimes, but of course that's a valid for me as well. But I would say the history is even more so probably.
The history.
Yeah.
All right. And the history comes mainly from the Bible, Jesus' life, and then that impact through history. What's some historical claims that give you confidence that this actually is real and true, and what are you claiming happened in history, and how does that connect to God being love and creating people?
Yeah, so I would say that historically, just starting with the Bible itself, there's no other historical document that has, to the same degree of, in any way, the same level of people that have copied it through the ages, and the, like, if you compare it to other historical documents around the same time, it has way more evidence of that the people actually wrote those words than many of the other documents.
People have copied it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. And
people have copied it a lot, and the way that they've copied it has been very like, if you look across different versions of it, it's amazing how similar they are to each other.
Okay.
And compared to other similar.
Is it fair to say, like, important things get copied, and this original source was super important because it was accurate about what happened in history, and that super important thing in history was so important to be copied? Is that fair to what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, like, an important thing happened, and then people wanted to copy it to make sure it was preserved. Is that fair to say?
Yes. Yeah, they wanted to make sure it was preserved and
spread.
And spread, exactly. Yeah, because they had the first 12 people who followed the way of Jesus, they actually were willing to die, and historically, basically 11 out of 12 of them were killed for their beliefs in what Jesus said.
Okay, and this is more evidence to support the claims of what happened because people were willing to die for the claims.
Yeah, so essentially they were saying that Jesus not only died, but he also came back to life, and for a period of time he visited people and saw people in a physical body. Mm-hmm. And so if I was making that claim, I think I would be kind of an idiot to die for it if I didn't really believe it was true. So I think that the fact that they were willing to die for something meant that I think that they believed it themselves very strongly. You could argue that it wasn't, that they were believing something that wasn't true, but I think that it at least at a very high level gives veracity to what they were claiming to be true, that they believed it without.
It's potential evidence to their level of confidence about the belief.
Yeah, for sure.
And can people be really super confident about things, die for it, and that thing still be mistaken?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what other evidence from the Bible or history gives you confidence about this?
So I would say that the movement, especially the early movement, because there's been streams of Christianity that have not represented the life of Jesus well.
Okay.
But especially in the early days when, like I said, with the first 12 disciples, followers of Jesus, they shared with other people, their family, their friends. They were persecuted. They were killed a lot for their beliefs, and that spread all across the Roman world. So the early Christians, the early followers of Jesus, were actually known for their caring heart for people around them. The Romans would often have babies that they would just throw away, essentially. And the Christians would take in these babies that were thrown out in the street and would care for them. And so they were really well known for being caring not only to the people who believed similar to them, but also to many other people in that world.
So there's an early movement of the 12, and their spreading of the stories also gives us a certain amount of confidence about this.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
And the way that it continued spreading despite the violent persecution, the violence that if you believed the way of Jesus, that you would face potential death for it. The way it continued to spread in spite of that.
Oh, there was cultural pressure to not believe it.
Yes.
From like
from the Romans and from also from Jewish people who were at that time thinking that Jesus was not someone that you should follow.
Okay. We have a little bit more time to potentially think about a thought experiment that kind of, it's a way to, the point of it is to see where there's a certain consistency in terms of believing something for certain evidence that is similar to the claim, and seeing where we would start believing something kind of similar to a claim of someone dying and coming back from the dead. So the thought experiment goes, like, say someone comes up to the table and says they have an ancestor who went up to the side of the Grand Canyon and just jumped and flew to the other side unaided. That happened in history, he said. And that's something that he believes to be the case. And if he had just his personal experience, where would your confidence be about that? Like his personal...
My confidence in his story would be... okay, well, part of it is that I have a presuppositional belief that miracles can happen.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, I would be more open to believing trusting his story than someone who doesn't believe that miracles are possible.
Yeah, a God could exist and cause that.
Yeah, for sure. So I would say my confidence in that would be maybe 50-50.
50-50?
Yeah, 50-50.
On mere testimony?
Yeah, I guess. Somewhere around there. Because I don't think it's impossible for that to happen. But I do think just one person's testimony makes it something that crazy less likely. So.
Okay. Yeah, you need to take that?
No, I'm just going to mute it.
Sure. So now I'm going to try to add on the evidence from the Bible in an analogous way to see if word confidence shifts. Would you be more confident about this person flying over the Grand Canyon if you had similar quantity and quality of evidence as the Bible gives for the resurrection? So if 12 people also claimed, and we had their claims that happened, would your confidence be, would you believe it then?
That would be much more confident, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, above 50, where would it be on the scale?
So if there was 12 witnesses there?
Yeah, similar to the 12.
Okay, so my confidence would rise, but if they all knew this person and were all basically part of the same group, I could see how they would potentially have a reason to collaborate together and be let's make this story or whatever. So I would say maybe 55%, but it wouldn't necessarily mean that I would fully believe their story.
Okay, and then you mentioned something about people dying for this belief. If people died for this belief, say 11 of the 12, is that what you said? 10 or the 12?
Yeah, 11, I believe.
11.
Yeah. Hmm.
If they died for that, where would our confidence be at that point? Or, where would that be?
I mean, that would be pretty interesting. So you're basically saying if they were to be interviewed and said, okay, you can either tell me this is a lie and just walk away, or if you tell me this is true, I'm going to kill you. Is that basically what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess someone would come up to them, they would want to persecute them for believing that, and if they did not recant,
yeah,
they did not say they no longer believe it, then they would be killed.
That would be pretty compelling, because I think most people have a pretty strong desire to live, unless, of course, depression and things like that. But the general populace, I think, generally has a pretty strong desire to live. And if 11 or 12 different people were willing to say, yes, I absolutely saw this with my own eyes, I would say that would be pretty, and they were willing to die for that belief, that would be pretty compelling to me.
Okay.
I would say that, yeah.
So based on their, personal testimony, we were about 50%, and then them, just the 12, added a little bit more, and then them dying, where would it be if 11 of them died?
I would say about 80% probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
So but you're right.
80 or 90, somewhere in that range.
And you're around 100, or not very close to it for the God is love and created people.
Yeah.
For Jesus dying and resurrection, we'll just say that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not the only thing, but we have limited time. That's not the only reason why I would believe that, but yeah.
So what kinds of evidence would need to be shown to you to increase your confidence about the flying man?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I would kind of want to know more, what, I think there's reasons why things happen, so maybe it would be interesting to hear, why do they think it happened? What were some of the, more to the story, I guess.
Just more details to it.
Yeah, more details, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we had a ton of copies of a journal or diary of that happening, would the more copies give us more confidence about it?
Well, okay, so not necessarily more confidence that it was true, but more confidence that that those people were sticking to their guns, that they saw this.
More confidence of the people.
That the people's testimony, the testimony was true. Not that
their sincerity.
Their sincerity. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We're out of time. Pretty much. Well,
thank you so much.
Thank you, Nathan.
Nathan, yes.
This is great.
And what was your name again?
Reed.
Reed. Thank you so much, Reed.
This was fun.
Yeah.
We'll try to be here on Sundays. I'd love to continue the conversation at some other point.
That was very great. Thank you, Reed. Blessings to you. Have a great day. Appreciate it.
Have a good day. See you. Would you like a puzzle piece stress ball?
Oh, wow.
You can come back and get you more.
Thank you.
If you see me again.
Appreciate
Thanks.
that. Thank you. You guys are great. I love it.
I think I something to lay out, because I stepped out and in.
Oh yeah.
I stepped away from the browser and it shut me off. So that's one way to mess it up, is go look at a Discord or something.
Would you guys be willing to take a picture of the
Yes.
three of us?
Sure.
Thank you.
Of course. Whatever.
How would that work? Okay, yeah.
Whatever he asks for. Yes. Sure.
One moment, guys.
And you can just hit it as many times. There's no memory limit or whatever.
Wide shot fucked up.
Thank you so much.
With COVID, it's hard getting a family picture.
Really appreciate it.
So I only heard that obliquely. I basically got a minimal facts argument. That's kind of what I heard. I'll listen to it very carefully later.
Yeah. The original claim was God is love and create people to be loving like him. He believed because of personal experience, the historical record, the impact through history of the story. We got into his historical record of Jesus' death and resurrection.
Was Gary Habermas ever mentioned by name?
No.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, and lots of minimal fact stuff happening. And then I tried to do the flying man outsider test.
Oh, nice.
But I'm not very good at it.
Oh,
What
wow.
time are you guys usually around on Sundays?
We're trying to be here from noon to 4.
Noon to 4, okay.
Yeah. And you can contact us. We can put you on the meetup so that you if we move to a different place for that day, you'll know, and things like that.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
We really like repeat talks.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe we need to have flying man training events.
I think so, yeah.
Obviously, Doug needs to be the main guy teaching that.
Yeah.
Because and then we'll make Canadian Catholic attend or view the video.
Yeah.
For anybody following along, I'm making reference to that Canadian Catholic took about 2 minutes to present Doug's flying man to Gary Habermas, who then dismissed it as silly and pointless and worthless and irrelevant and that kind of thing.
Why would that happen?
And Doug claimed that Canadian Catholic could not have encapsulated the argument within 2 minutes, and therefore the rejection by Habermas was premature at best.
So yeah, that's really hard to do.
The flying man?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because Doug reveals exactly the timeline of the evidence.
Sure.
Because of his, expertise in the Bible, in the history of the Bible.
Sure.
I don't have that expertise, but I'm just going off his evidence. Which is fine. Like, the first thing I said was, if someone came up to the table and claimed they have an ancestor who flew over the Grand Canyon, just based on him saying that, where would your confidence be? And he was at 50% just there. From the get-go.
Okay, that's an interesting scaling of the scale. 50-50
on that.
A miracle based on 1/3 hand account.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like Doug's preference to make it a second-hand account, or at least make it one step closer by claiming that it's his own ancestor. I think when we're talking about that social epistemology, he's trying to rig the social epistemology modes where you will agree because you don't want to offend.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Because it's his ancestor, and he's...
Because it's his ancestor.
Even though it's obvious, it's like a thought experiment.
Right, even though it's obvious, he's invoking identity.
He's using that.
Yeah.
As an emotion, a bit of emotion.
Yeah, and I'm pretty okay with adapting that and not saying my buddy Doug's ancestor. No, I could claim it's my ancestor. Besides, it's far enough back that Doug and I probably are related that closely. After all, I am of European stock.
Right, here's Jeff and Luke.
Okay.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. Hello, Luke. Is this
Hey.
Jeff Trimble?
Yes, it is.
I have now seen you in person, my face.
Gotta wear headphones, Jeff. I can barely hear you.
Yeah, my dogs are barking in the background, so yeah.
Understood.
The volume is
I'm
low.
mute-
I'll let you get some
muting my
headphones. All right.
And
Do you have a microphone somewhere?
Can you make what?
I'll let you get headphones.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Nope. Also,
So go.
we should.
Any feedback, Luke?
We cannot have a camera pointing outwards, right? Seeing who you say hello to and how they react.
Yeah, that would be pre-consent. What we're trying to do is say, if you walk to this side of that camera, then you're on live stream. And if we say we are live streaming from that camera, and they walk in front of it, that's consent.
I understand. Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe what we should do is get.
It's the first time I heard about it today. So
the flying man.
The flying man. So the way I understand it is something that would like an analogy. And would you believe if that happened?
Yeah. Basically, it's the idea of recreating the same reasons that are given in a minimal facts argument and applying them to something that is not the same thing, but is close enough in analogy that the reasons should apply. And really, it's just testing the cumulative nature of the cumulative case.
Yeah.
I think the cumulative case argument says that no one piece of evidence is enough to believe it. But when you put them all together, then they're sufficiently credible. And in an example, what was it, a few weeks ago, Pine Creek was talking to Canadian Catholic and did the longest version of the Flying Man that I've heard, taking Canadian Catholic's version of Gary Habermas's argument. And Canadian Catholic kept saying, no, it wouldn't be enough, until he got to the very end, the very last one, that the last piece of evidence was people, when they believe this, have had changed lives.
Yeah.
And at that point, he's like, yes, I would believe the Flying Man. If he had all the other data and he had changed lives, then he would believe the Flying Man.
It's one of the were you there yesterday when we talked about why Christianity is true?
In practice, yes, I was there.
Yeah. So one of the points was that life-changing events. One of the reasons why it's true is one of the life-changing. It's crazy how the truth.
I hear your tablet.
You hear a tap.
Is that?
I am muted. Am I down far enough in sound? I'm at minimum sound, but I'm not off. It doesn't allow me to go to zero.
I like you.
Are you guys hearing me better right now as well?
Oh, it's probably.
It's a little bit low. It's still low. Okay.
How about now?
Nope, not the same microphone.
All I've got is this little headset.
Yeah, but
that's okay.
That you're using right now is not the one from your headset.
It's tolerable. We're good.
I did an SE session with you a month or so ago, late in the evening. The fellow that's joined us, I forgot his name.
Are you talking about Dolly here, juggling lessons, or are you talking about Luke?
The fellow who's in the screen above my head, rocking in the chair with a brick wall behind him.
That's Luke.
That's Luke.
Thank
yes,
you.
He's one of our practice hosts, and he's really good at this.
He is. He stumped me. He really did. I picked a number off a list, and it was a doozy. So.
Yeah, he has a beautiful list. I love the list.
It was the one where 75% of my beliefs are based on Catholicism, or my moral beliefs, or something like that.
Sure.
It was
without
like,
God, there is no objective truth. Yeah. Objective good doesn't exist without God.
Well, it's nice to see familiar faces.
Mm-hmm. Put faces in names on names.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing. Hey Gina. Oh, thank you very much, Gina. She said I'm awesome. I just saw the picture. Somebody put it up.
Yeah, all of us in the practice host teams are very fond of Luke, very impressed with him. He's sort of our freelance practice host. He is present at a lot of them, and he's totally qualified to do it. And he doesn't choose to sit first seat, and that's totally okay.
Yeah. And how long did he do the flying man? Was it hours or was it minutes? The flying
How
man
long did
argument
which?
with
The longest one that I've seen is probably 45 minutes.
45
and
minutes.
And let's see. I think I know where to get you a playlist on that.
Oh no, I don't think I'm going to watch it. I think I'm glad I know what it is. When someone else will try it, I will say, okay, you're doing fine now. Let's talk about this, or let's keep the 44 minutes and go to the one that's.
Totally. And of course, you can grab a hold of Doug yourself. You've been on with him before.
Yes.
It would be very cool for you to tell him your opinions about the Flying Man and where we could make it better or where we're doing it wrong.
There are a lot of things, but like in the session that you just had, the person said, well, there is these things that happen, but there are other reasons why they but somebody talk to you, right?
It was just a visual, of making eye contact and a wave.
Maybe they will come one day.
They very often, when somebody sits down, like the people who just sat down most recently, had come by an hour prior and spoke with us briefly, and then she was, oh, we're gonna go walk. Okay, great. And then they came by and had that sort of like, hi, we're ready for something look on their face. Or maybe it's a look on their shoulders. I'm not sure. Where's the body language on that?
We thought about a theme that we want to talk about. We have You have a really nice place, the spot that you found.
This is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and the boats are out in force today.
Yeah,
they're almost bumper cars out there.
I wonder how much do they pay for the hour? Is it $4 or
is it $22 an hour?
$22 an hour.
I forgot.
Yeah, it's like in the order of 20, less than in the order of 5 or 10.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's not per the boat; it's per the person. So if you have 4 people on the boat, that's $88 an hour for a boat you paddle yourself.
I think I do hear it from there.
From here?
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to make it any quieter than it is.
So, if you want to know where it comes from, tap with your finger. You should be able to check if it's coming from there.
Is your mic muted from there?
My mic is muted from here.
Okay. Just remove yourself.
Okay.
You don't exist anymore.
I will not exist here. Let's see.
It's in there.
Just close the tab.
Yep, I'm out.
All right. That's better.
Okay. Yet another reason why I'm not properly equipped. With the wrong hardware.
79 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah. Gina asked. Trying to troubleshoot my aircraft is connected error.
Okay.
The app works. It's connected to the remote. Or remote control connected. So I'm just troubleshooting.
Okay. You troubleshoot. I will bust. Go ahead.
It's a toy that you have, right?
Yes. It's a toy. I don't know if you can see.
A big boy toy.
Yeah. It's a DJI Phantom drone. It's the kind of drone that you don't have to be an expert pilot in, because it's got hold still, come back to me modes. It's got fly yourself modes if you want. You can fly it manually if you like, but if you don't feel like crashing it into the lake, you can say, go up this flight, go out that far, look around back at me, wiggle yourself, and then come back to the spot and land. Here's some waypoints. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, you just program it. I wonder how much does it cost? It should be really expensive. It looks really expensive.
Yeah, I think it might be a misnomer to label it a toy.
Yeah.
It's a big boy toy.
Yeah, that's all relative.
Yeah.
How much are you willing to pay for toys?
Yeah.
they've got a new class of these kind of drones, the mini and micro, because they passed a definitional rule with the FAA saying that if the drone weighs less than 250 grams, that it's in a different category and you have far fewer restrictions about something. And so DJI made one of those that is about 90% as capable as their big badass units, and is this big, folds and sits in your top pocket if you're wearing a shirt with a big pocket.
Yeah.
Very impressive little booger, what it can do. It doesn't have as much hang time. Like this one here, 25-30 minutes of hang time, whereas the little bitty ones maybe 15 minutes. But for what we're doing today, 5 minutes would be enough.
Do you want to use it for today?
Yeah, what we're hoping to do is have it take off from here and like maybe be looking at us at eye level or something, and then take off up over the lake, see the view of the lake, and see us coming in and something in, out, drone shot.
Just for B-roll.
Yeah, so that we can put that in.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm going to sign off for a little while. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Jeff.
Sure.
Thank you. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
He's got a camera on his chest. He's almost ready to do SE.
I'm streaming you, streaming me, streaming you.
Fun. I'm going to bring this up on YouTube so I can harass this way and turn the volume completely down.
The girl with the claim about medical assistance.
Yes.
How did you feel there about her epistemology?
I found that her epistemology seemed quite sound when at the end her confidence in her claim was dramatically lower than at the beginning, because she recognized she did not have
valid,
like enough information. Yeah, she didn't have enough information to be able to make that relative claim. Now, I was working off her numbers, that it was between 100 and 500, so I said, okay, 300. And it was some less than a week, some more than a week, so I said, okay, week. And of course, I'm estimating based on, wild sloppiness, that 15,000 a year per person that takes advantage of it. And she was saying 50% of people would be taking advantage of it. So that's a relatively high bar of advantage. 15,000 people times, in our country, 330 million, half of that's 195. No, wait, no, 300, sorry, 150, which I 160. About 170 million people times 15,000. That's 170 billion times 15 is, $2 trillion a year. So
$2 trillion a year.
$2 trillion a year. That's less than our current wars.
And you don't count the formation of the teachings of the specialists that are there.
I figure all of that cost is covered by that they're making their wage. Now, I would also hope that in a case like this, that their wage would go down. That you wouldn't have therapists charging $300 a year when it's free to everybody. I would hope that would change. But I think $2 trillion is a very high bar for showing $2 trillion worth of advantage. And anyway, and the thing is, when she came to the end of it, she became relatively uncertain. And that to me shows really good epistemology, to recognize when you should lower your confidence. And I think her confidence moved down from very high at the beginning, because her claim was chosen to be the most important thing we haven't passed yet. So I'm just guessing that actually indicates a shift of confidence.
We have healthcare here in Canada, so it works. I think many people are helped because of it, but it's really hard to measure how much it works. Because you don't compare. Like, yeah, there is no way to. I don't think there is a way to compare how many people didn't suicide. You know, like how do you know how many didn't kill themselves? There is not a website where you say, "Oh, I tried today. Oh, I tried today."
Right. Pullback asks, I just realized, how do you get electricity? I'll show you in just a moment.
Oh.
Okay.
Maybe sun powered.
Nice. On our way back, we're in like.
Okay.
Good.
Remote control settings.
Okay, so batteries. I have two style of batteries. They are very similar. One of them is like this, and the other. This is real nice, and it has a display and 3 outputs, and can take in either C or B or both. This one can take in. This one can take in C or B, and only has 2 outlets, but that hardly matters. And in my testing, this one has 2.5 times as much capacity as this one, which is to say, this is honest when you buy it, and this one's full of shit. But the full of shit ones are actually still good enough. They function just fine. They just don't have as much capacity as they are advertised. I have 4 of these and 4 of these, and between them, also Reed has about 4 or 5 similar ones, and between us we could run this whole setup for 12 to 20 hours.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
On this, I also have 4 lights. If it gets dark, we could do fill lights so you can still see. That all run on their own batteries, and we have 2 mixers. He has his small mixer there, which is the Zoom P4, and I have the 6 to 8 track, or 12, depending on how you count your tracks. More like a studio mixer style, with the same functions. It's got a few more inputs, which really are more than I need. And the reason I picked that one up was it was the first one that Zoom had that had the direct interface to a smartphone, and now all of them do.
It's easier.
So anyway, that's how we do it, and they all run on these kinds of phone batteries, USB. Everything in the whole setup, in both kits.
Paul wants to have the same setup that you do.
Who does?
Pullback. Pullback, his nickname is.
Pullback has the same setup. Oh, nice.
He wants.
Oh, he wants a setup like that. Are you doing SE, Pullback?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Because if you are doing SE in public and wishing to do this, SEI is happy to consider funding it for you. Street Epistemology International has so far given me grants totaling $1,350 over the last year and a half. I'm about to ask for another one of maybe $1,000, and they pay for my second data channel, and they bought these 4 batteries for me, and among other things. So if you're doing Street Epistemology publishing, SCI wants to help support that.
They receive donations.
Yeah, SCI receives donations. Yes, and I think supporting SCI, supporting SE publishers is a big part, or maybe even the majority of where the money goes out. But I don't really know the details. You'd have to ask somebody who was involved, like the president.
It's the biggest expense and the biggest earmark for future expense.
Yeah, he's the president of SEI.
Oh, there.
Right there, across the table from me.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a big bust.
Yeah. Well,
Anthony's the executive director. He's above me.
Yeah. Okay.
But he can't vote on the board.
I'm sure you all have it worked out in some way that makes sense. I have no concerns.
So, who are your biggest donors?
Who are our biggest donors?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
A Nani Moose? Was it?
yeah, a Nani Moose.
A Nani Moose.
A Nani Moose. I don't want to like.
Yeah,
give that
I think they
information.
intend. I think those donors, most of them intend to stay anonymous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. That's something I'm working on with a project of I have right now, where I want to be able to give the options of people who gave money to organization to make themselves known to the public.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
totally. Would you like us to tell people about you or not? And
Yeah.
opt in, opt out, all's good.
You can brag.
Yeah.
You can brag that
Yeah.
you gave. You can brag you gave how much. You cannot lie on the amount, but you can brag that you gave.
Right.
Without
No lying on
telling
the amount, or Ananias and Sapphira might happen.
I gave $1 million. I remember this guy who gave $1 million to plant trees, and this is the guy, because the numbers were written. This is the guy who gave $1,001 just to be above, just to say
No problem.
I gave more.
Yep, he did.
It was fun.
And that if that first $1 million that he gave is the part that I care about. The extra $1 would be like, yeah, okay, fine. You can have the asterisk.
I can give it back for you. Well, he did it for, I guess it was for a publicity stunt,
I'm sure, yeah.
It was more for him to make his donation more public or visible than if he gave also $1 million. And it sparked rivalry between those two,
Yep.
A small rivalry.
I heard that somebody gave a $28 million donation to secure one of the first seats going up with Jeff Bezos.
Really?
28 yeah, they gave a $28 million donation to charity. They auctioned off the seat, but the money wasn't going to Blue Origin. The money was going to a charity. I forget the charity. And that bidding went up to $28 million. It's amazing.
The charity is like, what?
Oh, the charity's like, oh baby, look at what we get to do for the next 2 years or something.
Can it be straight epistemology next time, please?
Oh gosh. $28 million worth of straight epistemology. I don't think we have anywhere near enough people to make that useful yet. But
yeah, you don't know what we would do. You do with it.
SEI is, SEI is really good at getting a lot of efficiency. It's people aren't doing SE as a profit-making thing.
Yeah.
But if SEI can make it cost me less, but still cost me, that's my favorite idea. I don't want to make money on it. Yeah.
No, that's not the purpose of SE. It's not a money-making business.
Yep. Yeah, so pullback. If you want to set up like this, and if you want training in SE and that kind of thing, we're all over it. Let us know. We will bend over backwards.
I'm getting somewhere.
Oh, good. Progress. You're not plugged in on the white.
Something happened.
Your white cable's not plugged in.
I know.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Linking complete. Okay.
Yay!
Oh, I can see stuff.
It's alive.
It is alive.
Okay.
So, is this something that we'll be able to watch in the StreamYard? No. It has to be done in post. All right. Fine. Be that way then.
All right. 15 satellites.
We'll be able to
34.
watch it pick up.
I wonder if the new GPS vehicle number 5 that was just launched a few days ago is one of those 15. No, I don't really care. It doesn't matter.
Maximum altitude 40 meters.
Okay.
How high is the fountain?
2 stories. 10 meters.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with like
just
35.
above the fountain.
I'm gonna go with 30 to 35 meters for the top of the fountain.
Okay, I don't want to hit the planes.
Right, and yeah, and maximum altitude 40 meters. It's gonna put you below those apartments.
I'll do 50 meters.
Okay. What's that? Where's the max? Do you have a legal limit that you have to be under? Obviously you do.
Yes.
Yeah. And I suspect that's at least 60 meters, maybe 120.
Let me change batteries.
Okay. Hello, love. Oh, okay. Kimberly's going to try to, if it takes off, she wants to have a video of it lifting off. In case this is the last time we ever see the DJI. Little robot about to fly.
It looks like there is a good camera on it.
Oh yeah.
I'll try to refresh.
Hello, Jack Russell.
Now I can see your beard. From afar we couldn't.
I couldn't tell that I had a beard on. Yeah. I just have it. I have it twisted into a really simple braid today, or maybe not a. Maybe it's not a braid. Maybe it's just a twist.
Oh, I mean the beard.
Okay.
The beard for weed. Beard's beard.
All right, a 4K 24. I'm gonna change that.
Yeah, leave some room.
So Pullback says, I'd love to do SE in the south of France. I think that would be the only setup that would work culturally. And I think the setup you mean is tabling like we're doing. And I don't think people would stop if I were standing up Anthony style here. Okay. It's good to understand. South of France, on a table, people wouldn't be willing, probably.
Oh, careful. No. There you go.
Okay. And here it goes.
Is it staying in the wind?
Yes, it's doing fine.
Oh, I don't have any more batteries on my computer. Have to go, guys.
Okay, thank you. Talk to you later, Luke.
Bye-bye.
All right. Switch us back to the main view.
I'm not on StreamYard.
Oh shit. Hang on then.
Keeps getting slightly lower and lower. back away and rise up. Alrighty. Nice.
Don't want to go in the fountain.
Yeah, avoid the fountain. Yep, there's your maximum altitude.
I'm at 30 meters now.
Oh, it's only 30 meters. Okay.
Oh no, come check out what I'm seeing.
Uh-huh. Nice. Ah, now I see it again. Look straight down. Nice.
Sweet. I think that'll be a good shot. Cool.
Do I know what is a devil stick? Yes, I think I have seen a devil stick where I think it's it's a string between two sticks, and you're juggling what is effectively like an open yo-yo. It's a spinning top that you spin and throw and modify and catch and wrap around. Is that a devil stick? I've never played with them myself. I've seen it done. And yes, of course, that's appropriate for talking about juggling. It's totally appropriate for almost anything. If we can talk about physics and determinism, we could definitely get to juggling.
Well, are you next? Yeah, you're next.
Okay.
All right.
I'm next.
I'm gonna.
That's a Diabolo. So, could you describe to me a devil stick? Howdy. We're doing free water and free speech today. You can have either or.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So did Naya go home?
Sitting on the wall.
Okay.
About 5 minutes. We have a date with her granddaughter again.
Oh, nice. They're playing Pokemon. Perfectly good Sunday activity. A devil stick is without a string between the sticks, and you have basically a big stick in the middle. Oh, the idea is to keep the stick in the air, rotate it around the sticks, do tricks around the wrists, etc. Okay, I see. Is the stick spinning, or maybe I guess it would be spinning around its long axis? Flip, 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 flip. I don't know.
Valley,
Yes.
use one of your tablets. Look up devil stick.
Yeah, I will later. I will definitely do that later. I hear singing that's out of pitch.
I've decided that somebody's karaoke.
Somebody's karaokeing?
That's my guess.
I think they shoot music videos or something.
Okay. It's the kind of out of pitch that could be on purpose.
I hope not.
I've heard some musical styles where that's normal. It certainly messes with my musical training, but I need to be tolerant.
Who are you?
Hello, puppy. You look terribly leashless. I'm so used to measuring vertical heights in terms of boat masts.
Yeah.
Because that's about the only thing that I know the height of that I see a lot of. And I think that fountain is taller than any of the boat masts in the marina where I'm living. And maybe I'm just messed up on perspective. I don't really know. I'm not close enough to it. And over water is difficult to figure out the distances. Okay, so ideally you don't want it to spin around the long axis, you make it spin around the center of gravity. Okay, you can make it spin around the center of gravity, and in the with spinning a pencil, spinning it this way, but not this way or something like that. It was about 20 meters. I hear a lot of beeps. Do those all have meaning?
Got 4 minutes left of battery.
Okay. Howdy.
Hey, I'm curious.
Yes.
Do you think white people should exist on the planet anymore?
Yes.
I don't.
Who said that?
Well, he's out of my view now. But yeah, we did hear that. Because we're on YouTube, I'm not going to bother repeating it. Yeah.
Okay, I got some good stuff.
Oh, okay. So Pullback was saying he mentioned devil stick because they called it a devil stick because supposedly in the Middle Ages they used to juggle in front of churches and throw it higher than the building, making it an offense to God. Thank you. So if you end up doing it again, I'll hand you back the same tablet later. Good. Waiting for a black swan, yes. I have been able to confirm that within the confines of this lake, there are no black swan boats. But that's a much more limited claim than there are no black swans, certainly. Are you getting enough power?
Could get more. Let me just take this, unplug this. Plug it in over there. I can plug it in.
Okay. look forward to seeing that footage.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Got it in 3K, 30p.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the shutter speed is super high, but that's okay.
Is that because the sensitivity's really high and the ISO, the aperture is fixed?
I can't control. Yeah, the aperture's fixed.
Okay.
So I can't control that. I can put an ND filter on, but it's too much work.
Yeah. So with super high shutter speed, it would just be like overly sharp.
Yeah, and nothing's blurry.
Okay. Well, grabbing stills out of it, that's better, right?
Yeah.
Hello. Good day. We're doing free water and free speech.
Oh, good. I'm with them. I just came back to see what you're up to.
Cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We are happy to interview you on any topic you choose.
Okay. Well, thank you for offering. They're probably wondering. I'm sure they're wondering where I just disappeared to.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Good day. I have to have the headphones off for proper busking. And probably get up off the chair. Atheist experience with Shannon Q and Jim Barrows. Cool. All right.
It's not charging.
Try that one.
There we go. Still working.
Can't tell. I'd say no. It's at 3%. I'm gonna say it went to sleepy by. You'll get to find out later how much is missing. It's a good thing to have the other backups.
Yeah, that one failed today.
That one failed once?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The headphones have been good.
The headphones, yes.
And the iPhone.
The iPhone, yes. Yeah, that's a good thing. It's kind of critical, that one.
Yeah, this is beeping red, or blinking red on this side, so that's one way to tell.
Right now the display is on and it shows 3%, and I hope it...
Anybody have time for an interview? Okay.
How many people do we usually get to interview per session? On a good day is 6 to 8, and if we have 3 or fewer, we are looking to make changes.
Oh crap.
Oh my, interesting bicycle.
Is that just a bunch of mirrors? What is that? Or speakers?
Yes. Rear view mirrors and headlights and all sorts of things. There's a bicycle back there that is festooned with chrome and lots of interesting stuff. Much more show than go. Roughly the aerodynamics of a palm tree. See you later, beach. Free water and free speech.
Watching back the drone take off.
Okay. DJI disconnected. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I was watching Anthony on the line with Matt the other day.
That was a waste of time.
I was very happy with how well Anthony was able to just zip his lip and let it all happen. I want to assert that while Matt might think that he's doing something close to street epistemology, by my narrow little non-gatekeeper standards, I would have called him on it. If he'd have been in practice with me, I would have called him on early direct messaging and interrupting a lot and projecting where the person was going before they got there, and arguing against the thing he thinks they're about to say.
Yeah.
And I'm all in favor of Matt doing that kind of thing, but I want him to not call that SE.
Was Matt claiming to be doing SE then?
Matt was kind of saying that what he does is a lot like SE, and I respectfully disagree. And I'm happy to have that talk with anybody about whether or not that's properly SE. And I think in a lot of the cases, Anthony just sat back and tried not to interfere with what Matt was doing, but there wasn't any SE, anything he could do once the "no, you're wrong because," which was kind of the, I don't know, maybe I'm strawmanning his attitude, but it was a bit harsh.
For SE practitioners, our main focus is the rapport ledger and if that's positive or not positive.
Yeah.
And I would assume it was very quickly spent and then just left.
Very quickly spent. I think Matt has gotten into the habit of driving rapport negative quickly if it's going to go that way.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't really want Matt to change a thing. I just don't want him to call it SE.
I don't think we're at risk of that.
Don't even think what?
I don't think we're at risk of people being confused.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Well, if Matt himself calls it SE, and they don't have any other examples, people could easily believe that somehow that overlapped. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna busk.
That's it.
Confuse the camera. So Kimberly and I are doing Pokemon raids with grandchildren at distances.
At distances.
Yes, the grandchildren are, I think most of them are in Missouri.
Oh, you can do them from a distance? I thought you had to be near the thing to do a raid.
Something about remote raid passes. And I think during pandemic they really loosened up the rules on this, which is good.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know the details of it. I'm a very obsessive personality. You know this about me. And so if I were to get into Pokemon, it would be at the expense of other things. And I don't see Pokemon as giving me the kind of benefits that I need in order to allow it that level of attention. Yeah. So the rest of my family uses Pokemon as a really good way to encourage themselves to walk enough. And that works.
Yeah.
It's a really good walking minder and, something to keep your mind occupied while you get your legs working. I wonder if they had one black swan, if there would be a competition as to who gets to get the black swan.
Yeah, you might have to pay extra or something for it.
Maybe, yeah. Or black swan available, but only with reservation. Yeah.
Gosh, it's a long line.
Yeah. I find it interesting that they can't process that line faster. They've got plenty of unoccupied boats.
Yeah.
What about signing up for the boats takes any specific time? Maybe they've got one or two people that are loading them in and have to give them a safety routine or check their flotation devices or whatever.
Do you get charged extra if you don't come back on time or something?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That's how that works. How you doing?
Yep, it's a fire truck. Starts with F and ends with UCK.
You see that? Is that one still going?
If I believe the little red light, which I think I'm supposed to. What confidence do you give the little flashing red light?
99.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the advantages of expressing myself in Sigma of confidence is if I do run up against somebody who has training in science and statistics, they show up immediately.
Wait, what?
One of the advantages I have when I express my confidence in Sigma values is that if I end up with a conversation with somebody with statistical or scientific training, they step right up. It's like, okay.
All right. Would you be interested in an interview? It's my hobby YouTube channel. I have just conversations with people about whatever. And he's next. He's my friend as well. You can take my seat and talk with him. What's your name?
Hi there. I'm Dolly.
Nice to meet you, Nick.
Hello, Nick. Have a seat. Hi, Nick. So, in street epistemology, I want to ask people something they think is true about the world.
Okay.
And that can be a true thing like that tree is that tall, or these are made of stainless steel.
Okay.
Or it could be something normative, something I think we should X.
Okay.
So moral claims are okay too.
Okay.
So, do you have anything that you think is true about the world that you'd be willing to have me examine? I'll try real hard not to push back from an alternate place.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would say that people are generous.
People are generous.
Yeah.
Okay. So by people, do you mean average adults, average everybody?
Average everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by generous, what does generous mean?
Like they enjoy giving.
Okay. So
Yeah.
people enjoy giving.
Yeah.
Do they enjoy it all the time? Do they always enjoy giving? Do they enjoy giving some of the time and then stop enjoying it after a while? Like, I enjoy
Yeah.
walking, but I only want to do it so much.
Yeah, exactly. They enjoy doing it some of the time and then stopping once they've had enough.
Okay. So people have a small desire. No, I'm not going to say small. You didn't say small. People have some desire to be generous, and then it eventually quenches.
Yeah.
They don't want to be further generous.
Yeah.
So how much generosity is enough?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like,
So you don't know him.
yeah.
You don't know whether or not he's generous.
No.
If I were to say, I think he's generous,
Uh-huh.
what would be the minimum standard that you would expect before you would agree with me?
Like, say he's out with friends and one of them forgot their wallet, like to dinner,
Mhm.
he pays for dinner. That's maybe a bare minimum of generosity. Yeah.
Okay, so in this case, saving a friend from going through a crazy search for an ATM or borrow money if something like that.
Yeah.
So not forcing a friend to borrow money if they're short that day.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a bare minimum. Okay. So some people might only do that once a year or only when they're feeling, so they might not be generous if they've done that just once in 2020 or something.
Yeah.
What's something where if they've done it even once in their life, they're in?
Maybe rescue an animal.
Oh, rescue animals. Take an animal in as a pet that otherwise going to get put down?
Yeah.
Okay. So generosity to animals counts.
Yeah.
Sweet. So, how confident are you? This is, every person is uniformly always generous. I have no doubt. And this is, nobody's ever really generous because disqualification for reasons or whatever. Where would you put yourself?
Myself?
Mm-hmm.
I would put myself...
You can use yours.
Oh, okay. I would put myself, like, here.
Okay.
Above half.
Above half.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to influence you. You can look at mine whatever you like.
Okay.
What led you to think that the average person on average qualifies as your average level of generous? I hope I put enough moderators in there that we're talking about the middle of it.
Yeah. I feel like what I'm thinking is that people are more generous than they are selfish. They're more inclined to be generous. But if it were like out of 100, it would just tend to go up like 55 to 60%.
Okay, so people are just barely generous.
They're barely more generous than they are selfish.
Okay. They're barely more generous than they are selfish. But but the average person, what fraction of people, I'm not asking you to put that on a scale, but what fraction of people do you think fall below that standard? They're just not generous enough to be called generous. I'm assuming that there's some kind of bell curve, right?
Yeah. I'd say like fewer than 5% of people.
Okay.
Yeah. Are really more selfish than they are generous.
Okay. So 95% of people are more generous than selfish. Yeah. Or maybe there's some vague gray in the middle where you just can't tell. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Where do I go? I guess I'm going to go to hypotheticals. Hypothetically, what could you learn that you don't know today that would raise that estimate in your mind. Either this one to where you were just a lot more sure, or where you thought that 5% was 1% or something.
Hypothetically, what kind of situation would prove to me that more people are generous than I think?
This is confirming your thesis.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm thinking of like instances of natural disasters where people do tend to help one another more than help themselves, because, well, everything is kind of like brought to bear, and you have to make the decision in that moment, like if you're going to be selfish or if you're going to kind of potentially sacrifice yourself to help other people, or make your life harder to help other people. And it seems to me, not that I have a ton of evidence, but it seems to me like people do tend to help others because that, I would like hypothesize, is their nature. Yeah.
Okay. So is this something you learn, or are you saying that's the kind of observation where you'd really be able to tell if when the rubber hit the road?
That is the kind of observation where I'd really be able to tell. And I think I've also kind of maybe learned it as well.
Yeah, you've seen this happen in the past.
Yeah.
Okay. That might even be one of the main reasons why you are positive on this claim.
Yeah.
Yeah, that when it really matters, as opposed to the day by day, where you can't tell the person who really needs from the person who's just looks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. So if there were a natural disaster and you saw 10% of people just all for me, would that change you? Would that change your opinion?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And if you didn't find anybody who was playing the selfish in a natural disaster, would that change your opinion? Let's assume that you saw more than 100 people.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it would have to. I guess either of those circumstances would have to move my initial,
Yeah,
feeling.
Cool. Thank you for the conversation. I've enjoyed it. Do you have any questions for me?
I'm just curious as to what this is, street epistemology.
Okay. Oh, by the way, there's my confidence.
Okay, so
I call that 2 sigma, or 95%.
Okay. Which means you are 95%?
I'm 95%.
Generous?
Where you're 60?
Yeah.
No, my personal generosity isn't part of the claim.
Okay.
No, I am 95% sure that on average people are generous.
Yeah.
I'm more sure of your claim than you apparently are.
I thought that this was a measurement of my generosity relative to my selfishness.
Cool.
Which is, why.
Okay, so you're barely, you see yourself as just barely generous.
Yeah, I see myself as tending towards generosity.
Yeah. I find myself in that same position.
Yeah.
And that's where I want to be. I don't want to be there.
No.
I want to be close to the center, just knowing that I'm on the generous side of the thing.
Yeah.
Because I have great fear. Okay, I think selfishness is really cool, because selfishness puts your own mask on in the airplane before you deal with your kid. Because if they pass out and you put the mask on, they'll wake right back up. But if you pass out, you both die now.
Yeah.
So I think selfishness is really good, and that's why I'm with you. I want to be just measurably on the side of generous.
Yeah, but still sufficiently selfish.
Yeah, I got to be selfish first.
Yeah.
And then out of my bounty, I can be generous.
Yeah.
And I like to do that.
Yeah.
So, good on you.
Good on you for doing this podcast in public.
Yeah.
Or is it a podcast?
Yes, we are currently, here we are on YouTube.
Oh, wow. There's 10 people watching you.
There's 10 people.
That's awesome. Do you work at the Boring Company?
No, I'm just a fan of the Boring Company. Nice. I like what they do, so I bought a hat.
Nice.
He likes what JPL do, and so he bought a hat.
Nice.
And neither of us work at JPL either.
Word. Cool. Well, thanks for inviting me to sit here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You bet.
So what was his confidence?
Well, he misunderstood the confidence question as where is he personally on the thing, although that's really odd from the text. So it seems like maybe there was 2 tracks going on in his head and one track was coming out where I could hear it. I'll check out later. I'll see what I think.
Okay.
In any case, his he told me that after I revealed my confidence at 2 sigma, 95%, and that I think that made him rethink what he meant by the confidence of in his claim. What he was meaning by this confidence was where he stood personally on the generosity scale. That's not at all clear from the text. I'm looking forward to reviewing that.
I predict a blimp will come out from all those trees over there. Check it out. Good.
Yep.
Good. Nice. Blimps are cool.
Yep. Yeah.
I want to ride in a blimp.
Wonder what that takes.
Don't know.
I bet it's either not very expensive if you're willing to ride along with a flight they're not making for you.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a PR thing. Ask the right person and say, "Hi, I have a YouTube channel about these things. Does that count?" Who knows how that happens?
Yeah.
I expect it's quite a limited resource, but it has almost no marginal cost.
I think we're out of water.
Yeah, I bet we're out of water. Yeah, let me get out of the chair and Mind Onion says, I think juggling lessons misspoke and asked the wrong question. Cool. I get to go review and learn what question the interlocutor heard it the same way I did. Okay. Excellent. Yeah, I'll totally read that back, because if I sloppied up the confidence question, that'd leave us down rabbit holes. I really love how I can just review because we're recording it all. That just makes it easy. Like, okay, I'll try to learn. I'll take the comments and I'll do it on the review. Learning live is harder. Yeah. I mean, that's what we do for interactive practice, but it just is.
I bought $1,300 worth of puzzle pieces. With the SE logo on them.
Yeah.
Just in black.
Just black logo without the white.
Yeah.
Okay. I bet that saves a good bit of money.
Yeah. It's that versus like 1,800 or so.
Mm-hmm. Except for printing costs.
Yeah.
No.
Do I owe you any cash, or do you want to re-up your cash? What's your status?
Let it ride. My stake is 22.
You have 22 right now. Okay.
Which is really easy for me to just come in with that stake.
Yeah.
Wait a second. No, my stake is 42.
Oh, sweet.
What do you think about that? I had a stake of 20, and I lost the whole stake. And then I re-upped, but I didn't give you any money yet. I owed it to you. So no, my stake is 22.
Okay. You lost it, but then gained 42, so now you're at 22.
Right, because you had loaned me the 20 for the second stake.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm enjoying the poker quite a bit.
Unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only in the sense, I'm not worried about the discipline of losing. My losing discipline is quite decent. In terms of I have a budget and I won't exceed it. And I've gotten nowhere near close.
Right.
It's the mental obsession. Do I really want to allow myself the mental effort to get good at this game? Is that good for me?
Yeah.
One part I'm not having any trouble with is the deception. Because I don't rely on deception at all.
Yeah, you don't. It's just
I don't.
You bet. And if people believe you, they lose.
Well, and a calibrated amount of the time, I bet unreasonably.
Okay.
To the high.
To the high.
A calibrated amount of the time, I overbet.
Okay.
Something like 1 in 10 of compared to normal betting.
All right.
Because otherwise, and I expect to lose those bets.
Okay.
If I don't lose those bets, I don't count it as
a regular loss.
I don't count it as achieving the goal of a bluff.
Okay.
I consider a one bluff a failed bluff.
Yeah.
Unless it's exposed that I was in fact bluffing. But the thing is, I see zero deception in any of that. It's just how we're supposed to play. Any more than is deception if I try to hit a tennis ball toward you in a way that's going to make it hard for you to return it.
There's another red light here. That's good to know.
Oh, good. Where's that red light for you?
So if you don't see that blinking, that's an issue.
Okay. I see it. All right. It's much more obvious on this side.
Yeah. Hello, do you have time for an interview?
What are you guys doing?
Just having some conversations with people about...
Really? What's going on today? I like to talk.
Yeah, you want to do one?
What's new?
Not much.
What are you guys into?
We like to chat with people about their beliefs to help them think about their beliefs.
About Jesus, about God?
Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a believer of Jesus Christ, and the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. I walk with him all day. He breathes in me. I got a close relationship with him, and it's great. It's great. I have balance, you know.
You get balance.
Yeah. Balance when I go through rejection, when I go through good things. Sometimes things are so good that you need a little rejection to make you feel like, oh, but snap back, you know. You know, both sides. I kind of look at the inside of my body as two pistons. One piston is pain and rejection and financial problems, relational problems, the list goes on. The other one is love, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, equal, synchronous, joy, self-control, wisdom, knowledge, creative imagination, comedy and humor, funny. So I have to manage both of them with the Holy Spirit, and it gives me balance to how to get how to listen to people, and when to share with my faith with somebody. And, it's great. I have purpose and mission, I could say, besides just work. I like my job. I fix swimming pools. I like fixing pumps, motor switches, and I vacuum them and have so many accounts. So I set my business many years ago, 28 years ago, because I also wanted to reach people. So I took some time to read a lot, pray a lot, and study charisma. Yeah. Like charisma is really paying a total attention to the person in front of you. Right now I'm doing all the but I'm sharing my heart with you as well. Little things. But otherwise than that, everybody wants to become, people are looking for meaning in relationships. Meaning. I can have it written down.
Yeah.
And so then they want to do the sacrifice of the activity, playing an instrument, working, doing a hobby, you know, whatever. And so I found out some churches, you get too much authority, and I've been through every type of church you could think of. I started as a Catholic, then I went to Seventh-day Adventist, I was Jew, then I went to Victory Outreach, gang members, drug addicts. I learned more there than anywhere else from the Bible, not just from their life, because they're following, but so am I. So I started studying what pride is. Oh, one of my greatest breakthroughs when I started studying spiritual pride. Spiritual pride means that I already know God, and I already know how to go to work, pay my bills, and I already know how to get along with people, but I'm unteachable for new methods to grow, because it seems like I've already arrived, and I'm wondering, how come I'm not growing? I feel stifled.
Wow.
So I gotta, adjust myself.
One of the viewers asks that you sit down so we can see you.
Sure.
Yeah. Can I get your first name?
Mark.
Mark. Well, my name is Reed. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Reed.
Want to wear headphones?
Oh, yeah.
We can hear each other better that way.
All right.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. So yeah, thanks, Mark, for sitting down. Do you come to the park often?
First time here, and since I was a little boy.
Since you were a little boy.
We grew up in Isabel Street in Highland Park. My father and my mother, and they all moved up north.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like to this park specifically, or?
Well, we were kids. We were right on the boats. Me and my brother and my dad. We were like probably 9 years old.
Oh wow! Even the swan boats and stuff, or were it just different boats?
They were different boats. It wasn't nearly like this. You guys really fixed it up nice.
Yeah, we got the fancy swan boats now.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I like them. Man, you guys really fixed it. They really fixed this place up, man.
Cool.
I like it.
So what would you like to chat about? Some spiritual, religious stuff? Or like the claim a God exists? Or
well, how I know?
Talking about meaning as well?
The God exists. What I tell people is that if you analyze your breathing state, who's breathing in you? And when you're trying to hang on to it, when you're losing your breathing state, you start crying out, oh my God, I can't breathe. Oh my God, oh God. It's funny how people start calling upon God when they can't breathe. Well, that's Him breathing in you. And so
when you breathe, that's God helping you breathe, or is breathing?
Well, he's connected to us. We have our own little breathing state, but He can disconnect it at any time. He's the breath of life.
The breath of life.
Yeah.
Like literal breath.
Yeah, without His breath, we can't move. When it says in the scripture, apart from me, He says, in Him we move and have our being. See, my Father's not connected to me. He's still alive, but He's just another man. But Jesus is my breath of life. And when I came out of my mother's womb, He breathed in me, and I became life, and I'm growing.
And that's how I know that that's the real God versus a God that can be an image of something. He's alive right this minute. Oh yeah, he's omnipresent. He rides on the wings of the wind, and he makes the clouds his chariot 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He never sleeps, never slumbers, and he's unapproachable. That's the real God. That's Jesus. Wow. Jesus is the manager of the universe. The Father sent him. People say, whenever you're going to have a problem, you better go see talk to the manager. Well, he came to deal with all the problems when he got born again, born through the Virgin Mary. Then he started growing up, and he started getting trained in scriptures, telling people how to deal with hatred, anger, bitterness, pride, life and death, and all that stuff. So that is just amazing. It makes a lot of sense if you think about it. The manager, he created all the animals and all the trees and us, and he would have to take full responsibility for what happened, like the tree of knowledge and evil that Adam and Eve submitted to. He had to take responsibility and come down here and die to conquer it so we can live again. That's total commitment for a manager.
You believe in the biblical stories like Adam and Eve and Jesus' death and resurrection and stuff like that?
Absolutely. I tried everything else, and I haven't been able to find knowledge and wisdom in anything else.
You haven't been able to find knowledge and wisdom in any other faith tradition or any other tradition?
Well, I was a Catholic.
Source?
I would talk to the Virgin Mary. Didn't get me anywhere. No. I thought material things. I had my business. I drove a Porsche. Had a lot of fun with it, and I got hit by a cell phone, a intoxicated cell phone guy. It's not about cars. I had a house.
What?
I had a Porsche, a 911 Targa.
And you got hit or something?
I got hit by an intoxicated cell phone driver. He hit me from behind.
An intoxicated cell phone driver.
Well,
or intoxicated? Is that what you said?
Yeah, intoxicated.
Intoxicated. I see.
So I didn't think I had my safety belt on, but I had that car for 28 years, and I used to get lots of pleasure joy driving it to the beach and stuff. But it's not about attention for material things. Well, actually, I used to have Bibles under my Porsche, and people would say, "Yeah, that's a nice car. It's a '74 911 Targa. Really? Do you believe in Jesus?" Well, I kind of thought about, hey, I have something even better for you. So I use that as an anchor to get people's attention to tell them about Jesus.
You'd use your car to invite people to talk about Jesus?
Yeah, anywhere.
And you had a bunch of Bibles in your car?
Well, about 2 or 3 I keep under there.
Just
and I put their name on it if they want one. If they don't, sometimes they reject me. I'm just sharing what I know, what I experienced. All I'm entitled to is to share what I know. I'm not saved by works.
Were you always this religious in life? Or did you grow up that way?
No, I found it when I was 19.
19, what happened there?
I got hit by a drunk driver. I woke up in the hospital. Then I was still alive, and I knew God somehow saved me. Then my grandmother told me she was praying for me, so she gave me a Bible, and I said, nah, hey, I'm not into that religious stuff. I was a Catholic, and then she started asking me my questions, but who's the devil then? Who's the devil? Why did God let the devil destroy all these people? And she started answering scriptures, my questions through the scriptures. Of course, I didn't have a Bible. I started thinking, ooh, it's kind of making sense. What? We were created with a free moral will to make our own decisions? Ooh. Even the devil got his own decisions? He gets to make his... That's right, he's got a free moral will. And that really got me thinking.
So, wow, you had a car accident in
1980.
1980. Okay, when you were... Okay, that's
right out of high school.
Was this the Porsche?
No, this was the Volkswagen.
A Volkswagen.
My friend's Volkswagen. I was driving with him. We were chasing these girls. He was drinking beer. I wasn't really that intoxicated. He was, but he wanted to go catch his girls. They were at his house, and his mom got mad, so they left. So we went to go chase them. And I was just driving for, okay, which way do I go? Go this way? Oh, yeah. I was all tired and burned out. In fact, that night I wanted just to give up on life. I was asking God to help me, and he wasn't helping me, so I figured I can at least help my friend by driving for him.
So you attribute your survival of that crash to God helping you survive?
Yeah, that night I asked him to come into my life to help me because I wanted to commit suicide. I was just thinking, like, I don't have to know. Because
why did you want to commit suicide?
Well, I had this real... burden in my heart. My dad always told me, when you get 18, you're going to pay rent. When you get 18, you're going to pay rent. When you get 18, you're going to pay rent. Yeah. So I thought, I got to face the world now, but I wasn't even at home. My parents were up north. I was staying with my grandmother. But I just had that rejection. Oh man, I got to face the world. I got to pay rent. I got to work. And then I was emotionally insecure. And people told me, well, call upon the Lord. So I did. I asked him, but he wasn't answering my prayers. So I figured if I could help my friend drive, I just let go. I let go.
You just let go when you were driving?
Yeah, just whatever he wanted to go, and then...
Because you were so stressed about your, situation now that you were 18, you had a bunch of responsibility?
Yeah.
And your father, put that responsibility on you?
Ever since I was
time?
13. When you get 18, you're going to pay rent. When you get 18, you're going to pay rent. I was already working at 15, 16, working at libraries, restaurants, and so I was already paying my own stuff, buying my own little clothes already, but I don't know, we had this control addiction. My dad's old-fashioned Catholic, and so I tell him that it's Jesus. He talks to his Virgin Mary to this day. He loves his Virgin Mary. Oh, man. And he's inherited a lot of money from his uncles and his mom and his dad. He used to be a manager for IBM, an analyst, computer, so he's intelligent.
Okay.
So he fixes the tile in the house, and he knows how to add on stuff, So my mom tells him what to do. She likes her material things.
Yeah. So your number one source for wisdom and meaning is the Bible. What's the second best source for this besides the Bible?
It isn't so much. No, it's not the Bible first. No, it's talking to God about what I'm feeling.
Yeah, you're religious.
Not religious. No, it's like I'm talking to you.
Your personal relationship with Jesus?
Yeah, it's not the Bible first. It's telling them what I'm going through, and then I memorize the scripture if I need to go. I use it to help me solve a problem at work. Like if I'm taking a filter apart and I can't get it together, and I just step away from it. Says, Father, based on that scripture you gave me, John 14, 11 and 12, ask anything in my name, so the Father may be going to the Son, and the Son may go to the Father, may ask for anything you wish, and I'll do it. I asked for wisdom to get this top of this filter. It's warped, and I can't. I've tried it 3 times. And I need you to be my manager so I get out of here and go to my next account in Jesus' name. So I take a deep breath, then I go and I try it again, and then at the last minute, I get it out. And whatever I'm doing, see, I use him for my manager and work, for following the right principles to fix things too. Come to find out that he wants to be involved in every little thing I do all day. Even like I pray, God, let me eat the best food today. Let me drink the best, not too much sugar. I want to feel good in what I eat. So then I stop at a restaurant, and I park there, and I'm waiting. Then I pull somewhere else. The Holy Spirit pulling me to go eat. Then I feel good. Oh, this is what I want. Oh, you know what I mean?
Oh, you use your prayers to God to help guide you in life, and then
everything. Food,
even little minuscule things like food.
Where to spend my time, how to spend, where to go. I don't always know where I'm going to be. Like today, I pray, God, I want to snap out of a routine today. I've been wanting to come here for the longest time. All of a sudden, let's go drive to Hollywood. To my girlfriend, and all of a sudden, hey, we saw the Echo Park in 101. Let's go to Echo Park, and here we are. Woo!
Amazing.
So it's a new. It's like when you snap out of a routine, it expands your creative imagination to feel new again. It's not about money and material things. You'll find out that people want to be loved. They want friends. They want to be accepted. They want to be able to share their heart, but they don't like to be rejected either.
So you have a girlfriend, and you've come to Hollywood just to get out of your routine.
Yeah, walk around, drive, but this is the place that I always thank God. Like Friday we went to Seal Beach, and there was a jazz band playing. I love saxophone. I used to play for Victory Outreach. And I planned my day. I prayed deep. Say, Lord, I want to snap out of routine today. I'm going to work. I'm going to do this, this, and this. Ended up right there watching these people play jazz, sitting down, relaxing in the evening about 9 o'clock. Oh, I had a great time. It's free.
Yeah. Cool. Nice. Well,
so that was, when I pray, I notice that God shows me something. Then I look back. You did answer. Oh, I had a great time, Lord, man. Then God answered prayer with my girlfriend with her cat, because they didn't want her to keep this new cat because her other cat died. We prayed about that. God answered that prayer. I talked to the landlord's sister, and she says, okay, just so she cleans up after the cat. And then God answered that prayer after praying for a couple of days or 3 days, and she's all rejected. Now she gets to keep her cat, as long as she cleans up after her cat. A little baby cat I got her, one of my customers.
Okay. Do you think answered prayer is a good reason to believe this is true, that a God exists and is helping you in your life?
Yeah, because I get emotionally insecure. I don't want to get mad. I get very mad easy. I want to go just start raising my voice and calling that landlord up. Say, listen, this lady has a turtle behind there. Why can't you keep her cat? I was going to start getting all into the flesh, and I said, wait a minute, no, I got to slow down. I got to manage my own things. Stay calm. Take a deep breath. Okay, don't blow it out of proportion. That's where the Holy Spirit regulates me. He says, just pull back. Okay, wait. Now, Lord, what do you want me to say to these people if I do talk to her? After I pray what to say and what not to say, he tells me when to talk to them 2 days later. And I called the landlord. Oh, and it worked out perfect. Oh, okay, yeah, she can have her cat, just so she cleans up.
So the Holy Spirit regulates you when dealing with problems that are stressful like that with the landlord and cat lady.
Oh, and everything I do, even when I have to think for my girlfriend, I got to think for her because she's emotionally insecure sometimes. And so it works. In fact, as long as I'm staying in prayer close to God, it works better. I feel less emotional turmoil staying on me for a certain amount of time because I don't want to carry it. Cool. You see, our flesh is made up of emotional turmoil, anger, bitterness, pride, shame, guilt, anxiety, jealousy, materialistic worldliness, hostility, and that's pretty much all of them.
Our
trying to get in.
flesh is made up of that?
In other words, those things they're gradually trying to get into your heart that day. If you don't, show up to work, if you don't eat right, you're gonna feel, if you don't drinking enough water, if you don't manage your state around a certain food and a certain amount of prayer, you may not feel as good for that day.
Yeah, if there was a better way to manage all of this stuff without a belief in a God, would that be of interest to you?
I would do the same thing without talking to God, because I got to use common sense. Common sense out there better. I've met people that are better than Christians, who know how to love people better than Christians, and they're rich, they have money, they know how to get along with people. So I don't put my trust totally in assume that Christianity meets everybody's needs, because there's two sides. I've seen it and I felt it. So you have to earn your salvation through communication and talking to God and analyzing it, experiencing it, trying things, taking risks here, taking risks there, and then to see if it really works. Otherwise, no one's going to do it for you. Not even Jesus. He's not going to do it for you. Mm-hmm. He's not going to violate your free moral will. He never does that. You have to choose to want to love him. So you got to take a risk.
Got to choose.
Yeah. That was one of the greatest things my grandmother ministered to me. She goes, "Mijo, God created us with a free moral will to make our own decisions." Well, what's God's will, Grandma? Well, that we do good. But how do we do good? Well, this is why we have the Bible. And then I says, well, wait a minute. Who's the devil? Why did God let the devil destroy people?
Is the Bible true about all that stuff?
Well, historically, the Bible's in touch with history.
The Bible has historical evidence in it?
Absolutely. And that's what really convinced me the more. It has historical evidence. Alexander the Great. I was studying, even in history, let's see, Daniel, Revelation. All these different churches of things that happened, Persia, all these different things, the 7 churches, all these different things. So when I studied that, it's like, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
What's the best piece of historical evidence that gives you confidence that the Bible is true?
I would say Daniel and Revelation. And the story of the 7 churches, what type of worship was going on back then. And it's the same thing today. It's just now I'm going through it. Now it's my generation, or somewhat.
The story of Daniel and Revelation?
Daniel, yeah, the thing, all the different, the statue, you had a vision of a statue and different things, events happening. And then right now we're living at the feet, where nations don't mix. They're partially clay and iron, doesn't mix, something like that.
Are you saying prophecy?
Yeah, prophecy.
What's the best example of a prophecy that's happened?
Well, the bottom line is this, is that I would say in prophecy, well, people's hearts are waxing more cold. People are getting more selfish in these last days because of the economy somewhat. There's hatred and bitterness. See, the curse is, we were born into a fallen world, and it's like this lady was walking her dog.
The Bible claims we're born into a fallen world, yeah.
Yeah, and so, but you have to see it around you. Like on Isabel Street, when we were kids, our neighbors were jealous of us. On Isabel Street in Hunting Park, they put a hole in our swimming pool, and then just try to start a fight with my dad because they were just jealous of us.
Wow.
My dad's not a fighter, he's just a nice guy.
This is evidence of a fallen world?
Yeah.
People being mean?
Yeah, I look back, and these people were jealous of my sister, my older sister. Were 4 of us. He was starting to fight with my dad, pushing him around for no reason. For no reason. They had a 63 Chevy. We had a 63 Chevy. They had a 62 Chevy. And it was weird. When we bought a swimming pool, then they bought a swimming pool. Then a week later, there was a hole in our swimming pool. And then we're looking at them. They're having fun in their swimming pool. Oh, yeah. Then we got our stereo stolen out of our house. Well, who could have done that?
Is there a second best explanation for why people do bad things besides us being in a fallen world and having a sinful nature?
We're born with a contaminated bloodline coming down from the tree of knowledge and evil from Adam and Eve.
Yeah, this comes from the Bible. Yeah.
It has anger, like I said, bitterness, robbing, killing, stealing, hatred, jealousy.
Is there any other explanations for why humans would be that way besides the Bible?
Another reason why, well, my only reason is that there's good too. There's 90% of things are just always good. I would say 90%.
Yeah, explanations for why people the way they are in general.
Yeah, most people are good. They want to do good. They work, they prosper, and they get along with other people. I think that life is 90% good, but the other 10% is evil. And if you don't take care of that 10%, it'll destroy your whole 90%.
Oh yeah.
You know, you have to manage your state. See, there is a devil, and he keeps us away from prayer.
Where's your current confidence that a God exists and the Bible is true? If on a scale all the way to the right is absolutely true, or in the middle, not sure, or
absolutely
to the left, not sure?
Everything that's in Scripture is absolutely true so far. I mean, I still haven't even searched everything that's in there. There's so much in there. But I'm going to give you an example. I'm a pool man. I go pick up supplies. This guy's just looking at his cell phone, working, just looking at his cell phone. And I said, "Sir, can you help me load my chlorine?" He's pulling the chlorine. So I went, hey. Another time I came over there, I went, hey, hurry up. And then I said, let me go talk to the manager. So I talked to the manager. So what happened, the manager said, hey, you leave him alone. Mark, what? Leave him alone? He's been on the cell phone every time I'm here. He's just looking at his cell phone. I got to get out of here.
A guy working with you?
The manager. I talked to the manager.
The manager of the what?
Of the pool place.
Of the pool place.
I said, and he goes, what's the problem? Well, right, can you tell him to put his cell phone inside his pocket? Oh. And then he got mad at me. But then I found it in the Scripture. It said something like, don't reject or not criticize a worker in front of the manager, because the manager will reject you, will exclude you. And that's what he did. And then I found it in the Bible 2 weeks later.
Oh, the Bible explained that situation?
Yeah.
What happened?
Now, it doesn't mean that I wasn't right. That guy eventually quit. But he left them working there for the next 3 months. But the guy just quit.
This is an example of the reliability of the Bible.
Yeah. Yeah. See, it goes. Now, it didn't mean that I shouldn't have got so emotional. Maybe what I'm going to do next time, getting back to becoming a better person, knowing Jesus and the Bible, if that happened again, I'd say, you know what? I'm going to go, hey, brother. Hey, you know what? I bet you go a lot faster if you just put your cell phone inside your pocket. Come on, I'm going to help you load the truck. I'd be his team with them. Just go ahead, put it in. I'll help you. So you got to be an example.
Gotta be an example.
Yeah, now, that's what I would do next time. Or I'd just talk, but I wouldn't even talk to the manager. Because I know I'm right, and I don't want to get the manager involved. He doesn't carry enough. And he's a Christian, by the way. That manager is a Christian. I know him. I've known him for years.
Huh.
So that was kind of weird for him to do that. And I care. I'm a team player. You got to be a team player. Everybody's a part of a team.
Is there any way to test the claim that a God exists? Is there any way to try to discover something in the world that would give us more confidence or less confidence that it exists? What would need to be true? What would need to happen? What would we need to learn or find out?
Well, it certainly isn't those ducks that are around here. Those turtles, they're certainly not. I don't think they came from an ape, evolved from protoplasm on a tree, and then they just became life. I don't believe that.
You believe God made all the animals as they are in the recent past?
He's breathing in them right now, and they're multiplying since the beginning of time. Multiplying. God is he's emotionally involved in multiplying animals.
How old is the Earth?
I think it's about 6,000 since creation.
Creation.
But before that, it could have been around for millions of years.
But all of life is 6,000 years old.
And Jesus came 2,000 years ago, and I think 6,000 is about a ballpark figure.
About a ballpark figure.
Yeah.
So how could we test this claim that that's actually true? If that turned out to be not true, would that change your confidence about a God existing?
No. I wouldn't worry about that, because one time, where was that? Chip out on this. Yeah. I studied the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is a wind, a fire, and it's a small little voice. One time I was at Del Taco. I finished my days of work, and I went to Home Depot, and I'm kind of feeling a little emotional, kind of lonely.
Yeah.
So I'm there buying a taco, and God showed up in Del Taco.
God showed up in Del Taco?
God showed up in Del Taco.
Tell me more.
Let me tell you. I was standing there. I just ordered my food. I felt like Spock from Star Trek. I felt this electricity wind kind of like show up, and it kind of like went off my mouth. My God, God is here. Maybe he wants me to read somebody.
You saw God? What are you looking for?
Well, no, you didn't see him. I didn't see him.
Oh,
like I said, the Bible says that he's a wind shear, a fire, and a voice. He showed up in a wind shear.
You show up in the wind?
He's an electrical current. Jesus is an electrical current. See, there's electricity in us and breath.
Okay.
So if you put your finger on that's God living in us.
The electricity.
Yeah, electricity. So when
what happened in the Del Taco?
Okay, so all of a sudden I felt him show up. I felt like the most important person. Oh, God maybe wants me to reach somebody, right? So I look around. Ah, there he is. He was a homeless gentleman sitting down there with bloodshot eyes, like this, eating all slow. God wants me to reach him. So what do? Got my food, sat right in front of the guy. Hey, how you doing, brother? Oh, pretty good. I'm homeless. And tell me your story, sir. Well, I lost my job 3 years ago. Then I lost my house. Then my wife left me, and then I ended up homeless. Then my son got killed.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. So you've been through a lot, huh? Yeah. I said, you believe in Jesus? He goes, yeah. Oh, so I tell him this. I said, I made him laugh. I said, well, the worst thing that can happen to you, brother, is you can die tonight, go up to heaven, live with God forever and ever and ever, and you don't have to worry about it when he goes, bah! He started laughing like Arnold from Happy Days. Bah!
That's a consolation, an eternal afterlife in heaven.
You can go with Jesus for if you die, you'll go with him forever and ever and ever. So that's the worst thing that can happen to you.
Is that true?
Oh, yeah. He'll be with God forever and ever and ever.
And we know that how?
Well, because the Bible says.
And is the Bible accurate in its
let's
claim about that?
Let's find out, who wrote the Bible? Who wrote it? Okay, let's ask that question. Wow.
Yeah.
It says, even in the scripture, like I said, there's so much in there. It says that God used ordinary men throughout the ages of history that were carried along by his Holy Spirit to write the Bible down in human form in words. Hebrew, Greek, and English. And that's how, very simple.
Are we using the Bible to prove the Bible?
No, we're using God's inspiration through his voice to inspire these men to write the Bible down and then put it into different books throughout the ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can books have mistaken information in them? Like inaccurate information?
Well, if you try something out, like for example, if you go out and steal a car and it says thou shalt not steal, and then you get taken away by the police, you're going to think, well, I don't know if I want to do that again. I don't want to go into prison, but maybe I'll do it again. And then you go to prison, come back, steal a car again, and it says thou shalt not steal. You're going to think, man, I'm tired of this getting in trouble. Now I've got a warrant for my arrest. I'm in prison for a year now 2 years.
Yeah.
But I could still go and steal a car again for as many times I can get away with it, and then I'll just maybe do more time. But that tells me that it's up to me if I want to live peaceful and not have to go to prison and be free and go to Echo Park.
So the Bible has some good values in it, some good things to recommend for people to do, like not stealing.
Yeah, because it backfires on you. It backfires on you.
What do you mean?
Well, if you get caught, that's only if you get caught. If you don't get caught, you could probably get away with stealing for the longest time. But the only thing is that if you're going to die someday, and so you want to go to heaven, you have to account for those sins, throw them up to Jesus so he can take them and throw them into the sea of forgetfulness, like Fernando Valenzuela. Every pitch he got, he looked up to the heavens, to Jesus, and he helped him in every pitch. Same thing with God. We got to keep releasing the sins that eat away at us. It's called the flesh. We got contamination going on here. So if I have Jesus in my life, I'm going to give it to him. Let him carry it at least one day at a time. You can't just carry all your burdens for the rest of your life. You got to keep releasing it to him. Let him carry one day at a time, because you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. No man knows his hour.
Okay.
Right?
Is there any way to tell if we're mistaken about this belief about an afterlife and a God existing and stuff like that?
I never thought of it in that concern. Well, hey, I would have to be in touch with a big Star Trek meteor come and pick me up and take me for a ride and show me another world, but it hasn't happened.
You need to experience something like that.
E.T. or something, hey, take me up. E.T., come with me, Marky. Let's go. That happened, but it hasn't.
All right. Well, anything else to talk about, Mark, with this? Any feedback from me? Any questions?
Joy is our birthright, not happiness. Happiness fizzles out. Joy is already there.
Joy.
When you accept Jesus, but you have to activate it.
Okay.
It could be a laugh. It could be an Elvis Presley impersonation. I have a trouble load upon me and I'm really good right now. I have a trouble load upon me and I'm really good right now. Well, he looked at me once. He looked at me twice. snatched me out of the fire and put me in the rock to stay. I have a trouble of all, and I'm really good about that. Now, I created that.
That's great.
You know how I created that? Being in pain and going through rejection and prayer one morning.
Yeah.
And God gave me that. The Rocker Bellies, He gave me Elvis Presley impersonation, and He gave me the song, and I started writing it out. God He's so deeply emotional about him every second of our life, but you have to pay attention, and you got to write it down fast. See, if I didn't take notes down, I wouldn't be as educated as I am right now talking to you.
Okay. Write down the notes.
Most people, they don't write things down, so you can't remember. Okay, so if I'm not being rejected, then I'm not influencing anybody. Who's being rejected? God living in me. He's my breath of life. See, every time somebody rejects me, they're really rejecting God living in me too, not just me. Because He's with us. We move in Him, in His being. We move every day. So I don't feel so bad. It took me a long time to catch that state. Ooh, a long time. Oh my God. You know, let me tell you one more thing.
Sure.
Everybody has to earn their testimony, their characteristic traits before God to share with people. It has to be earned through absolute emotional turmoil, rejection, suffering, financial distraught, people dying, losing jobs, getting sick, and the list just goes on and on and on. That's where people are afraid to want to serve God, because they don't want to go through the change or the hurt, or they think He's got a big stick, you know. No,
there's some stuff you got to go through in order to earn your salvation.
Well, not earn it,
or just.
But in other words, Jesus gave us 6,000 promises. One of them, He says, and I will not permit a trial more than what you can bear after you accept Him. So, but going through it is the hard part until He's going to answer the prayer. He's going to give you your breakthrough at the last minute. But it's the time in between getting an answer to the prayer here and right here. You're feeling all the rejection. Oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay my bills? I lost a job. My car's broken. But then you pray. You give it to God. Give it to Him right then and there. And you look around, you wait upon Him, then He answers prayer at the last minute. But you have to be patient after you ask. You have to ask people to help you. You got to look around for your resources. Common sense, see? If you don't use common sense, how is God going to reveal Himself to you? God uses people. He uses people to preach the gospel. Why doesn't He do all the preaching? No, He left us in charge. Oh man, that's heavy.
Right. Well, thanks, Mark, for the conversation. Appreciate it. We're going to try to get one more before we leave here today.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time, sir. It's a privilege to be sharing my heart with you, brother.
Thank you.
God bless you. You're
Appreciate
a blessing.
it. Have a great day.
All right.
Would you like a puzzle piece?
Puzzle?
It's a little stress ball.
Oh, what is
If you
that?
see us again, you can get another piece and build out this whole wheel.
What does this thing do?
It's just a stress ball.
Oh, good for like. Good. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, we're gonna go to the other side.
Cool. When we're writing the Considering Ethics module, we need to have like a category of like just different categories of people and how much you should push or how much you should question depending on the person.
Yep.
Like I talked with someone who was very mentally ill yesterday, but he was not mentally ill. He's just, I don't want to say what I'm thinking, but a certain category of person and what stage they are in their different development of like wanting to change or just being able to consider stuff. There's just a bunch of categories we should have, and when considering the ethics, like this belief does a lot for him.
Well, yeah, you asked about his operational use of it, and that right there would be enough reason.
I think my phone just died.
Oh no.
Keep going.
I suspect that we don't have sound.
Or did you just join or something?
That's good. Though I don't think I did.
It's fine now.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think when he operationalized his use.
Hi. Would anyone like to do a conversation?
I feel like
We're
start not smoking any of these topics.
That's fine.
No, maybe I'll come back.
No worries. Okay. Operationalize.
Yeah, he said that he uses his communication with the Holy Spirit to make all of the even trivial decisions for himself and his partner. And in a case like that, if he stopped having that, that would be wildly disruptive for at least a while. So that's enough for me to say I'm not going to try to go very deep, and you didn't at all. You asked very, very open questions about why he believed a thing, and didn't try to induce any specific doubt about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in this case, I don't have to categorize him at all in terms of mental illness or anything else. That if somebody has a clear reliance,
just education level and mental clarity would be the two.
That would be another one. Yeah. Yeah. If somebody's got significant lack of mental clarity, then I'm probably not qualified to help them.
Yeah, if there's more, like he talked about rejection a bunch, and he talked about his father.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I tried to probe some of that potential baggage.
Mm-hmm.
So that people have so much stuff going on with them. Everybody does.
Yeah.
And this stuff.
I listened carefully, and I'm full.
You're full?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
I listened carefully, and I think I've run out of the juice that I need to do another conversation.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever is that stuff that I'm using up, I've used that up today.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Yeah, we can wrap it up then. We're 6 minutes to go till 4 hours.
Aha. Well, that's a great time then. We wouldn't try to wedge another one in there necessarily.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
October 9th, it'll be fun. So yeah. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you.
We will wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
Got some good drone footage.
Good. I look forward to seeing that.
I'll add some of that to the next Echo Park video. Some way.
Okay.
There's a lot of swan boats.
A lot of people out on the water, paddling around. Last time I was on one of those swan boats, I decided that the pedals were both too close and too small a stroke for me to be able to get used to them. Just knees up here.
I still want to report from a swan boat.
Sure.
If the audio, in the handheld road.
Yeah.
I want to do that when there's not a long line. I'll do that next time.
Cool. Now, why the long line? What are they doing? It takes minutes per person. Something.
But cool. Thanks everyone.
Thank you. Oh, boom.